eclipsing the sparkle of jewels and beyond collecting art. True luxury is not a thing acquired or a status to declare. Real, meaningful luxury is a feeling discovered. The opulence of spirit. The relaxed, resplendent luxury of the Sarasota area. Feel the difference.
The boundless natural world exists outside of us, and yet, the wonder and beauty of Sarasota's nature lives within each of us. It moves you with a kind of exhilaration that renews itself with every beat of your heart. Come and feel it for yourself. Nature's canvas awaits in Sarasota.
To discover the hidden gems of Sarasota, escape to Sarasota County, where sun-kissed beaches meet award-winning restaurants and vibrant cultural attractions. Plan your unforgettable getaway today.
Commentators are talking, but not all the time. So.
Good morning, everybody. This is the semifinal match for the 2026 USCA AC National Championships. In this semifinal match, we have Zach Watson of the U.S. playing against Edmund Fordyce of New Zealand. They have just begun their first game. Zach is playing red and yellow. Edmund is playing blue and black. By the way, I am Michael Albert, and I'll be with you here this morning. Hopefully Tom Balding will be joining me shortly.
Having a good time doing this?
So Zach is running a third turn break. He's just completed running hoop 5, and he's on his way to 6 with yellow. Okay, Zach has successfully run 7 or 1 back. Okay, for those of you, I apologize for the interruption. Zach set a 3 duck sleeve on the west boundary, peg high. Edmund shot in with black on 4th turn, missed the shot. That ball is just outside corner 2 on the north boundary. And Zach has now run hoop 1 and is on his way to pick up the black ball in corner 2. He has loaded partner ball at 3, so he looks like he's going to be in good shape for an on-time 5th turn triple. Zach has scored number 3 with red, and he's preparing to peel yellow. He's in good shape with black as his escape ball and blue as a pioneer at 4. Zach's ended with a little bit of a hampered swing at black, so he's called in a referee to watch this shot. Okay, Zach is cleanly through number 4 with red. And I think we can, as soon as we get that hoop reset at number 3, 4 back, we'll see him complete this rush peel. The hoop setting at this tournament has been outstanding, and we've only seen 1 or 2 hoops have to be reset throughout the tournament so far. This is day 6. So kudos to the guys that have been out here every morning at 6:30 setting hoops on 7 courts. That one is just a little bit sticky on this yellow ball.
eclipsing the sparkle of jewels and beyond collecting art. True luxury is not a thing acquired or a status to declare. Real, meaningful luxury is a feeling discovered, the opulence of spirit, the relaxed, resplendent luxury of the Sarasota area. Feel the difference.
Okay, Zach has just rush peeled yellow through hoop 4 back. So I'm not sure if you heard that last comment, but Zach has just rush peeled yellow through 4 back, taken off from there to the black ball at 5, and is about to run hoop 5 with red. Zach's gotten a very nice rush over to the east boundary with black. He'll load that at 1 back and bring yellow over to penult. That's gotten a lovely rush on yellow over about 2 yards off the north boundary, straight behind hoop 11. He's going to load that in position now while he goes to blue. It's drifted just a little bit west. It's maybe a foot west of the wicket. We'll see if he's able to save that. right. He red had gone a little bit west of where he wanted it for hoop 6, and he had to take a jump shot to get through there. All right, I love a little stop shot to load blue at 2 back. Get shape on yellow to bring it back online. Lovely. So he's jaws that ball exactly where he wanted it, and he's got a nice rush to hoop 7. You might notice that Zach is wearing the brand new Team USA uniform that was debuted last year in Ireland at the Carter Cup. Navy blue slacks and the red, white, and blue top with Team USA on the back. Oh, actually, he's got one of the old shirts that doesn't have Team USA on the back. Just a little bit short of where he'd like it to be. I think it's going to work out for him. And he's got the peel at 11. Well, I've been joined here at the commentary table by David Maloof.
Good morning. I came just in time to see how Zach finishes his triple. He did not get the peel at 12. Am I correct on that?
He has not.
Okay. So he's got black in a little bit of a bad position. So typically he'd want that black ball a little bit deeper to a 9. He'd love to get yellow at least into the jaws of Rover. right away. So he's going to be sending blue up to wicket 10. He's hoping to rush yellow right in front of the wicket, and probably with a heavy takeoff, try to get yellow into the jaws. If black was deeper, this would be pretty easy to get this peel for Zach on time. So let's see how he plays this. He's come up a little shorter than he wanted. It's just a little tough to bring yellow to the left of the wicket where he needs it in order to get to black. So it looks like he's just gonna, knowing Zach, he may, he's deciding he's gonna try to get it in the jaws. This is a little bit tricky because to get that rush on black, it's gonna have to be a pretty steep angle, and these Invictus balls pull a lot. So when he hits this, he's got that yellow ball lined up well outside of wicket 12. He would be thrilled with jaws.
Oh, I think he's just gone safe.
Yeah, okay, that's very good position though, so he can come back and fix that up for the rover wicket. So looks like a straight Irish peel. He probably won't touch that until he gets back to wicket 12. It's a really interesting match between two young and very talented players.
This is fifth turn.
Oh, this is a fifth turn triple. Means that Zach did what Zach does, which is hit with ball 3, run the first 9, and give his opponent one shot and get done with the game. So at this point, Edmund's done nothing wrong other than miss his first lift shot after Zach took his first 9 wickets. But that's kind of where the game is headed, where you have two players of this kind of talent. This is getting more and more common to see these players finish on fifth turn. That's very nice. A little bit of an angled cut rush up to 10, but nothing Zach can't handle. And he has done that quite well. Beautiful approach to 10. He'll probably run this to the baseline where he can keep things as simple as possible. He'll hit blue. He's going to load that blue ball pretty close to the yellow ball. That just gives him the best chance to fix the yellow ball when he goes to peel it for an Irish peel at wicket 12. So I suspect he'll hit that medium pace, get blue very close to yellow, and now he's bringing that pretty close to the peg. This is also a very safe play. He can rush that ball down to yellow, and this gives him...
He does want to take the risk of not having great shape on black.
Yeah, and more than that, he's got a second ball. If he dribbles through, he'll have black to the side of the wicket, and if he goes through clean, not touching a wire, he's got blue deep, so just gives him a little extra layer of protection. But I doubt that he's going to need much protection from this. So Zach's going to put that black ball probably deep in the court. You never know when something strange comes up where he might have to do a jump shot through hoop number 12, partner getting stuck in the jaws. So he'd like that at least deep enough where it's comfortable. If he has to jump to the baseline, he's got a ball deep to play with. He'll rush blue as close to yellow as he can, and it looks like that's the ball that's going to be beside the wicket, and he'll probably put blue a little bit deeper. Although he'll Here he's just going to keep the
Blue's
two
gonna be a
balls to the
short ball.
side. Yeah. But that's going to be fine. There's almost no chance of having to jump over this. He's either going to make this or he's not. So he's just going to hopefully bunt this into the jaws. That looks pretty clean.
Looks like he's about 5 or 6 inches back from the hoop.
But notice how much care everybody takes in these, because if that yellow ball catches a little wire, sometimes red can hit it and do some funky things. Edmund had that happen yesterday in one of his games where he had everything in almost similar order to this.
That was game 1 against Tom.
Game 1 against Tom, and he escaped it, but what looked simple all of a sudden was not. So now, just formality, hit blue, rush black a little closer to yellow, make sure he gets the perfect rush to the peg on partner, and game 1 should be in the books. Meanwhile, as I came in, game 3 in the quarterfinals between Darren Guffey and Matt Smith. Darren was on hoop 3 and 1. Matt was running his first 9 with a 4-ball break. As I came in, everything in pretty good order. Don't know how it is at this point, but at this point, Matt looks in control early in game 3. Beautiful rush to the peg. Should be a very simple peg out and finish. So game 1 goes to Zach Watson, 26-0. And that, folks, is how it's done at this level. Great job by Zach.
What time is it?
It is 8 minutes of 12, so I don't think they
that game
used much
took
of their...
just over 40 minutes.
Yeah. But that's what happens. 2 good turns. Zach is one of the very top players in the world, definitely inside the top 5 and deserving of such ranking, and certainly makes the game look simple. I promise you, it is not that simple. See Edmund warming up his swing a little bit because he knows now for sure, and he knew coming in, that at this level, once you get to this point of the tournament, you've got to get these games finished in as few turns as possible. You want to give your opponents as few shots as possible. Both Edmund and Zach are incredibly accurate and confident shooters, and it's really hit or go home. So we'll see how.
Just a quick recap for any of you tuning in late. Zach hit in on 3rd turn, took his first 9 hoops, set a 3 ducks, peg high on the west boundary. Edmund missed that lift shot with black from the A block, and Zach made quick work of the triple peel in 5th turn.
So Edmund has chosen a more conservative opening. He has not done a super shot. Super shot is when you lay ball 1 out in the middle of the court, a little past hoop number 5. And you're hoping that you're going to hit your opponent wherever they go with ball 3. He has not had much chance to get play. He's not feeling warmed up, so he's not as confident that he's going to hit at this point in time yet. Zach is taking also a conservative approach, going about 6 inches outside of corner 2. This means if Edmund hits, there's very little chance of building a break from this ball. So if he hits partner here, he's going to go up, throw red out in the middle of the court and line a rush up toward red, and he's done that part well. So he's going to set up a break for his next turn, hoping that Zach is going to miss with ball 4. So little bit of work getting to that red ball. There's hoop number 6 and hoop number 2 that can possibly get in the way, but nothing that Edmund shouldn't be able to handle. So we'll see how this plays out. He wants to get to red, throw it somewhere out near the peg or a little closer to between 1 and 2. That's a good shot. He's left himself about 4.5 yards, maybe. You know, early in the game when you haven't played, these 4.5 yarders look like about 12 yards. And, you know, having sat for the last 40 minutes, you know, that's a very
he was
routine.
barely able to hit the center of that ball.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can tell you that he was definitely, that ball definitely had his attention. Just because he's not warmed up. He's going to hit that huge percentage of the time. But, you know, early in the game, you've been sitting for 45 minutes. So he wants this. Yeah, he's got that in good position. He's going to come back. I don't know if he's going to come out of bounds, set the break for blue, or leave it out on the court.
I guess he's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give Zach a short shot.
Yeah.
The way Zach shoots.
He's looking for the spot behind black where when he hits this out of bounds, it's going to line up perfect to rush toward red. So he's choosing his spot. And he'll rifle that blue ball out of bounds right at that spot. And knowing Zach, I'm pretty sure he's going to take the shortest shot he can find on the court, because playing defensive here against someone of Edmund's caliber really doesn't do a whole lot of good. So he's not going to go up to the B-block line. He's going to take the A-block line, which is short, and count on his excellent shooting ability to hit that blue ball, or black if he can't see blue, and see if he can get off to the races. So if he hits, he's in. If he doesn't, then Edmund gets his chance for the first 9. Center ball. That's kind of what Zach does. So now it's pretty routine. He'll pop that blue ball out a few feet just to keep it on the court. He'll rush
Black to red.
black out of bounds behind red, pop it over to 2, and he is off to the races. The only... Yeah, this is his first 9, so he doesn't need to worry about the triple. So he's just throwing that out a little bit toward wicket number 4. Wants to make sure he gets a really good rush on black to red. So out of bounds behind red, pop black to 2, rush red to hoop number 1.
He certainly couldn't have done a better job with that.
Yeah, I don't think he would have placed it any different than where he hit that black ball. It's
He's got a nice little gentle stop shot, load 2, and have a perfect rush line on red.
yeah. Zach is typical of a lot of the young top players. You know, he's got a tennis background, and tennis has a lot of similarities to croquet in the swing. The rhythm of the swing, the coordination of the body, the way the muscles work together. So when you have an athletic background in any other sport, but tennis is one in particular, it really helps these players develop very, very quickly. Again, beautiful rush right there. So one split shot here, up to one, a little bit of an angle, but now he's going to do a little takeoff so we can get to blue. So very good. He'll come through soft, rush it to the south boundary, and bring that blue ball into the court. He didn't get the perfect rush. It's back a little bit straight, so he doesn't like where that black ball is. It's a little bit outside the box. So for those of you that have played a lot of this this game, you'd like your pioneers, the ball at the next wicket, to be inside the box, so you don't have to take a risk with the outside boundaries. Where black is, if he has to come to black from a long distance, it's a little tricky to get behind that black to rush it closer to the wicket. And Zach knows that, you know, as skilled as he is, you know, it's always a recipe for disaster when you're approaching a wicket from across the scoring line, a little bit too hard, a little bit too soft, and you're in trouble. So he's going directly to black here. And the reason is it's a little bit easier for him to come in on the correct line. So he's coming a little bit cautious there. He's going to have a bit of an angled approach right there, more of an angled approach than he'd like.
David, I think he was pretty tight to hoop one.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to click off the edge of that wire.
There's no question. He could have gone to that blue ball, but, you know, again, he had blue still pretty close to the sideline. Would have been a really big roll up from blue. So, yeah, very good shot. And very clean wicket stroke. When you watch Zach swing and Edmund, you'll see a lot of similarities there in that most amateurs that don't play a lot, don't have an athletic background, try to fight with a mallet in their swing. If you watch someone like Zach, he brings the mallet back an appropriate distance for the length and strength of shot that he wants. He wants to make sure on every shot that he plays that he can use momentum to develop power rather than strength. So this one's a shorter shot. You'll notice that the backswing and follow through is going to be shorter, but you'll notice that the rhythm of his swing never changes. It's always, you know, swing it back and swing it through in the same rhythm, and just varying the length to the strength he wants into his shot. Oh, he has
Stuffed.
He has shown everyone why it is so important to get good rushes to right in front of the wicket. He had a little bit of an angle, but when you're coming across that scoring line, even a little bit of an angle, these hoops are very, very rejective and can be tricky.
Hoop 3 is especially tough. They've just spent 5 minutes in the first game resetting that wicket because the yellow ball was hanging up in it on the peel and wedged. So they did work on it. It's still a very tight hoop. It's probably just a fraction narrower than the other wickets on the court.
If I was Zach and I knew that, I would go check that right now because there is memory to these hoops. And if it was sticking early, there's a really good chance
They
that...
swapped the balls.
Hmm?
They swapped the yellow ball.
Oh, okay. So they've got a different yellow ball. Okay. So that tells you how tight these hoops are set. These Invictus balls are phenomenal balls. They are the most consistently round and consistent diameter ball that I have ever played with. But the hoops here are set at about a 64th of an inch today. They're a little bit tighter than they were the other days, and it's going to lead to a little bit more tricky hoop running. Edmund's just going to load blue up to 2. He's hoping to get 2 yellow because red is the only ball rushable to hoop number 1. Now, a lot of amateurs would be thinking, I don't want to give yellow that wicket. The preference here for Edmund would be to push yellow through the wicket, with the idea being that the less wickets Zach has with yellow, if he has to play red on his first break, and yellow has less wickets, his finishing turn, the triple peeling partner through, is more difficult as he has less wickets to play with. So you know, unlike what a lot of newbies to the game think, you don't want to peel your partner or opponent through wickets. Here, in most cases, you would want to peel them through wickets. Any wicket less that you give your opponent is one less chance they have to peel a partner on a triple. Edmund's still not quite warmed up yet. That rush was a little bit, it's a long rush from wicket 3, but it's well short. It's probably 4 to 5 yards short of hoop number 1, so he'll be very happy once he gets past this wicket right here. So
he's just doing a takeoff to get perfect
no, he's doing a little heavy takeoff. Yeah, he's done that beautifully. So he'd love to get a rush to the east boundary out of this, and good chance he will. But most importantly, he wanted to make that wicket, so he ran that through about 5 or 6 yards past the red ball. But at this point, he's not really feeling comfortable with his swing yet. He's not really warmed up, having sat for an hour. So, yep, as you can see, a simple shot right there. You know, when you're not in a rhythm and not in a flow, even for one of the very best shooters in the world, that's trickier than he wanted. So looking at the position of yellow from here, I imagine if yellow can run that down to the baseline here, he's going to play yellow. If he cannot, he'll have to play red. I can't tell where yellow is. Is it?
It must not be runnable, because
Yeah.
he's not even walking down there.
Yeah. So Zach is shooting at yellow, even though it's a much shorter shot than shooting at black, for the simple reason that hitting black does not give him a whole lot. He has no ball at wicket 1. It's pretty big break to build, and if he misses it, Edmund's set up perfectly for his break. So
The other thing is, we'll see where he marks this ball in, but black has, it looks like you've got a better angle, but I think he's wired on blue. He can barely see half of yellow.
Wide open.
yeah.
Oh, he is wide open on blue? Okay. All right, I'm going to give up my seat to the commentator. He's just arrived. Did you have
Thomas
a nice,
Balding.
nice nap there last night, Tom? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Tom Balding.
So Edmund made the one mistake he didn't want to make, but it's still a little bit tricky because Zach's trying to decide, does he take the shot into red, which would set up a very easy break, or does he take the easier shot into blue? He's taking the longer one. The reward is just so much higher shooting the red ball. He can send that for a pioneer down to hoop 4, and blue is a perfect pioneer. So center ball, very confident swing, and once again, Zach is off to the races. And
yeah, I didn't quite see as I was walking up how he stuffed hoop 3 or missed hoop 3. Was it a misapproach?
It wasn't a bad approach. He approached from very close, within 2 feet, but a little bit to the side, and he left a little bit of an angle in his hoop shot, and the hoops are set a little bit tighter today, and just missed it. But that's a perfect pioneer right there at 4. Great rush back to 3 with yellow and blue. Pretty much the same approach that he had last time. I think he will probably not leave this one short this time. Oh, it's pretty much the same angle. Not quite.
Struggling with that approach a bit. He manages it this time, though.
Yeah. These courts are a little slower than the players are used to, and it's not that the slower courts actually are easier than the faster courts, but when you're used to faster courts, even though you know you have to hit the ball a little bit harder, it's a little bit tricky when you're doing a shot that is against your natural instinct on speed. In other words, if you're putting on a slow green, for instance, and you know you have to hit it harder because you're used to playing on really fast greens, it's not easy to hit it that extra distance. And conversely, if you switch to a faster green, it would be the same thing. I don't think he was planning to get the rush on black there, but he certainly appreciates it. But a little more dangerous than he would have liked to get it there.
I'm just trying to pull up the live chat. For some reason, it is not wanting to show me on my phone the live chat that we have out here. Let me see if I can do it this way. All right, I just cannot seem to find it, but I don't know why it's not behaving itself. Normally the chat shows itself on my phone. Let me try to restart this. I'll try to converse with the people.
So I'm going to be interested watching Zach. I haven't seen him play much in the last year or so. I'm interested more in the leave that he's going to make, what leave he sets up. There are 2 standard leaves that the players are using, the U.S. players. One is the 2-4 leave, or the mom standard leave. We leave a ball pinned at hoop number 2, an opponent pinned at hoop number 2, and an opponent pinned at hoop number 4.
He is unhappy with himself.
Yeah,
he has not given himself any way to get black suitably north to 6, and still to keep shape on blue. So what I think he'll probably do is he'll probably hit this quite firmly.
Yeah, he'll
send it over to the other side. Yeah. Oh no, he went for a really tight cut.
Yeah, he's got
surprised by that.
He's got a very good ratio though, Tom, and blue's pretty close, so I think he's going to come back on blue from a pretty short distance. He might even try to go ahead. Ooh. Yeah, he might even try and go ahead and hit this on the split shot right here, as he does his sends his pioneer up to hoop 6.
I've just been informed that the colors of the players on this scorecard are wrong. It shows Edmund having the red and the yellow, which is correct.
So Zach is red and yellow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but the scorecard says the opposite.
Oh.
So we need to reverse that.
I am a little bit curious here. I think Zach is going to set up a Tea Lady leave and either do a New Zealand TPO or a sextuple. That's what it's kind of looking like to me here. No, he's looking straight. He's sending that up to hoop number 7. I was hoping we'd get a little excitement right here and see something special, but it doesn't look like it.
Zach told me earlier in the tournament that he was planning on setting a couple sextuple leaves. Zach has never really done a lot of sextuples. He and Matthew, during the practice day before this event, were going over the pattern of them together. It's never been something that Zach's really worked on, as far as I know, but he was going to try his hand at a few of them, but then the one tea lady that he did set got hit by Arlene Parker.
So the tea lady leave is when you leave your opponents cross-wired at wicket 1 with your partner ball for wicket number 1, using the wicket as a cross-wire, and then leaving your 2 balls up in corner 3. So you've pretty much maxed out the distance that you can give your opponent for a hit in, and the opponent would have no lift since you have only gone through the 6th wicket, not gone through 7. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that in this match.
But, all right. Yeah, Zach normally sets the new standard. That's his go-to, because when he and Matthew play doubles, Matthew demands a new standard, and Zach has become quite accustomed to it, even in his singles play. He likes to get that triple on time. One of the things that coming into this tournament that people might be interested to know is I always set diagonals, but before this tournament started, Matthew and Zach and a couple others came to me and said, we want you to practice new standard leaves. I know we know you don't do them, but it makes getting the triple easier, which of course it does if you. But
it gives you the better chance to get your triple on time.
Yes.
And that's what's so important to these guys, is getting the triple on time, because anytime you're running a triple, you're hoping that the peels are going to be easy and everything falling into order, but things don't always work out as planned. If you miss a peel, get a little bit behind schedule, having that extra chance to get a peel, the extra try, just makes things a little bit safer.
So people will often do things differently than others, but so what you just witnessed, Zach rushing that blue ball out of the middle all the way back, is very common. So in a 4-ball break, for those who are trying to improve their association or even their 6th wicket, if you get a 4-ball break in 6th wicket, you keep one ball in the middle as what we call the pivot ball. And so a lot of people will go, well, why did he rush it all the way back just to put it right back in the middle where it was before? Well, the reason is that he left his Pioneer a little bit short, and it is generally considered better to rush a ball back towards your Pioneer and do a controlled stop shot like he did to get a rush on it than just hitting that pivot ball and doing a takeoff. Takeoffs are a little bit more unpredictable, in the way that you hit them. The striker ball has more distance to travel, and the general principle, David, is that the less distance the striker ball travels, the better.
So I'm gonna take that a step further. When you hit a takeoff, it's closer to your regular swing, so that definitely helps with the feel. But if you hit a regular takeoff, a simple takeoff, and you hit it 20% too far, too hard, get a little excited, a little too jittery, that ball's going to go 20% too hard. But if you're doing it with, let's say, a half roll, and you get a little excited with that half roll and you hit it 20% too hard, that half roll is not going to go 20% further. It's only going to go 10% further, because or shorter, depending on whether you hit it hard or short, just because the half roll the back ball is moving slower. So it gives a little bit more forgiveness to these players if they make a little bit of a mistake. I know that sounds contrary to what a lot of people think, but, the top players understand there is a little bit more cushion to your play when you are doing a split shot. Plus, they're doing so many more split shots than takeoffs. So I can promise you that Zach always prefers a split to a takeoff on these short shots here. He is not setting up a new standard.
No, it's very interesting, actually.
But he didn't have the balls in the right place.
Oh, and he wobbles through, and
I think he's got a shot.
Yeah, but he has no rush back up to red.
Right, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. So the reason he wanted to get that up to red is he's setting a diagonal spread. So he wants to tie that black ball in close behind the peg. He doesn't want black to have any backswing toward the east boundary. He doesn't want to have blue and black able to see each other because they're going to be set out in the middle of the court to be able to be used. So getting this ball tight to the peg here is very important. If he could have rushed it up close to red, it would have made it a whole lot easier to set it in good position.
But he's played a great shot.
He's hit a really, really good shot.
So he's got the black ball within a yard of the peg in the general line that he's going to want to keep it on, and he's got himself a good rush over to, which he's underhit slightly.
He's not going to be happy about.
He had to cut it a little bit, and I think he just underestimated how much he'd lose on that cut. So,
but these are these tricky little shots. He's taken very good care not to leave that ball short.
But he has sacrificed any sort of rush over towards the black ball. So he's going to have a really long roll shot with, if he hits this well, he wants to get it within a yard or so of black on the correct side. But you also have to make sure a couple of different things. That you have to make sure that blue gets deep enough in the right direction. And if you leave yourself too short on black, it's very difficult to hit it and keep it in position at the peg, but he's hit that again quite well.
So he's got to use that peg as a shield between blue and black right here. This is why that black ball was so important before. So this rush is very important to him. Looks like he's done a good job. So black will have no backswing toward the boundary. Black and blue are hidden from each other, and red and yellow are going to be lined up with a rush pointed right toward blue.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we got the chat up and running, so if anyone wants to jump in with any questions, comments, or just any other conversational pieces, we can see them now. So if you have any questions for David sitting next to me here, I can relay them to him. But so Zach, it looks like will be completing this turn very tidily. Looks like a textbook diagonal spread. And Edmund will be heavily incentivized to pick up black because blue is a reasonable pioneer up at hoop 2 if he does hit in. Against a player of Zach's caliber, we were just having this discussion the other day. There's a lot of us consider there's a spectrum of players when it that you make different decisions against. So there's two options that Edmund would have if he were to shoot at Zach's balls. There's what we call the short shot, which would be from the end of A balk behind hoop 5, and then there'd be the long, more defensive shot from the end of B balk. Now, Zach has left these incredibly close to the south boundary. Those are barely north of hoop 4.
This will be no question that black is going to shoot the short shot at red. If he was playing someone of lesser caliber than Zach, maybe the long shot would delay the triple for Zach, but in this situation right here, it wouldn't prevent it. So Edmund knows he has to hit here.
And that's the thing, is what we were saying is the only time that the defensive shot or the long shot is appropriate is 2 or 3 conditions. Either you're playing players on one end of the spectrum that you know do not triple or do not triple at a very high percentage, especially if it's delayed, or if you were playing, scratch that. The short shot is you take that against players who cannot triple or are very unlikely to triple, especially if it's delayed, or you take the short shot against players who, no matter what you do, are going to triple and are going to finish, and you just need to guarantee that you hit. It's all the players in the middle that can triple, might have some difficulties if it's delayed or if the pickup's a little harder, that the defensive shot becomes a little more viable, because if you do miss, you may get up off the bench and have more opportunities. But against a player like Zach, you just expect him to go around no matter what. And so especially on fairly even conditions, you know, these lawns are a little slow, so it makes certain shots a little more difficult, but the courts are pretty true, they're pretty straight, and they're pretty even, and the hoops are not overwhelmingly difficult, so you can get away with some things.
So Edmund's just looking at his options. He was looking at blue, which tells me that blue might have a slight double target over to red and yellow, but it's such a long shot, I can't imagine he'd take that. You know, he's going to end up taking the short shot with black. That's kind of a given with blue up at black's hoop right here. There's really no other choice for him at this point. He has to make a hit, and this is the easiest for him to build a break.
He's going the long shot.
This is
I don't
really,
like this.
This is really interesting to me. And I was talking with Edmund the other day, and he says he doesn't have a lot of triples, and it's mainly because he grew up in New Zealand. In New Zealand, having played there, the lawns are a whole lot trickier. There's patches of brown dirt, patches of thick grass. They were not perfectly manicured. The hoops are set in clay-based soil that is very, very difficult. So in New Zealand, there's a lot less attempts.
He's looking at it.
Missed it.
Just missed it on the inside.
In New Zealand, there's a lot less attempts at triples. So, you know, it's very common for him to take that longer shot. But over here with the conditions this perfect and a player of Zach's caliber, he really had to hit that shot right there. I don't think taking that long shot as a defensive shot was going to be useful for him, because
we have some people here in the comments. We have a question from the Croquet Network. What is the update on the decider between Matt Smith and Darren Guffey? When I was walking by, when I came in, not 20 minutes ago to the venue, 30 minutes ago, I saw Matt Smith had just made hoop 5 on what looked to be a first break and was going around. I did not take note of the clip positions. If I lean up and over.
If you came in after me, Tom, it might have been a second break, just because I saw him past hoop 5 on a break.
Okay.
Probably 20 minutes, half an hour before you came in.
Then we have Sylvia Short wishing us a good day from Somerset West, South Africa. And Sylvia, I don't remember who was commentating on my game the other day, so I have to figure that out.
Probably me.
Probably you?
Yeah, if it was your game
with
against... no, I was not on that one.
Okay.
I was not on that one.
Have to figure, yeah.
That was Martin Selman.
Martin Selman. And then we have Boss War Eagle from Shreveport, Louisiana. So,
okay.
Watching from a little bit... Well, we're in South Florida, so points north, but relative to most of the United States, points south.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I'm glad we've got some croquet players in Shreveport.
Yeah. Is there a club?
I think there must be.
There must be.
So please tell us if there is. There might be players listening that might want to come join there.
Yeah, if anyone's ever in these chats and wants to have a shout out for their local club or maybe a lesser known venue, we'd love to help spread the word of any place to play croquet in the United States. That because there's a lot of hidden gems that I'm still, even this many years into doing this, you know, every day, that I'm still learning about new places that I didn't realize had croquet.
That was a very weak shot by Zach right there. He wanted to get that all the way over to the boundary.
Levi Franks is here, New Zealand player and current under-21 world champion, says didn't take long for Tom's vocal cords to warm up. Thanks, Levi. Well, you know, Michael Albert called me this morning to do commentary. He caught me just in time before I kicked the bucket out from under me for the shame I brought upon myself yesterday. So, you know, I figured why not. And then we have Peter Rothwell from the UK thanking us for the coverage and commentary. Peter, you're welcome. We'd love to bring it to you. And coverage for this event and most of the other major events that we have in the USCA nowadays is brought to you by I Do Live Streaming, and who have been, they're based in West Palm Beach, and they mostly have operated with us at the National Croquet Center, but they have shipped their equipment and their team all the way over here across the state of Florida to bring us this coverage these last few days of the AC Nationals here at Sarasota County Croquet Club in Venice.
And they have done a terrific job. They are understanding the game. They are doing a great job with the filming and setting everything up well. So we certainly do appreciate them and all of the work that they've put in to help the USCA and promote this game and show off this beautiful game.
Yeah. So Zach is now off to the races, so this will be a delayed triple unless he wants to do something Hogan rollish, which he on these lawns I would not be attempting with yellow that deep.
And I'm not sure it would give him the on time anyway. So for those of you that don't know the difference between a delayed and an on time triple, when you're on time, you want to have your partner ball at the wicket that it's going to be peeled at. So he would have wanted to have yellow as his pioneer at wicket number 3. And what that does is it allows him to run his triple without a whole lot of drama. He's going to have basically a 4-ball break where the pivot ball is going to be the peelee, and he's not going to have to rush to the wickets. On a delayed, he's going to have to wait and peel and rush to his wicket. So the way he's got this set up right now, he's going to send yellow deep to wicket 4, a little past wicket 4, going to blue.
Gonna need ooh.
That's not bad.
No, I thought red was going to go out. See, these lawns are very deceptive. The ball will be rolling what seems quite fast, and then they just hit one of those slow patches, and they dive very quickly. On the lawns we at the NCC or some of the other lawns we're accustomed to, that ball would have been past blue the way it was traveling.
But he's got both balls really in pretty good order, provided he gets through here. So he's going to go through
short
this.
again.
Yeah, it's not the best shot, but he's going to leave blue up there. He's going to go through the wicket, leave blue up there, take off down to black, and he's going to send black as his pioneer at 5.
And that's a little short too, but very makeable. So just these little things that can cause problems, but he's managed it well. And like I said, thankfully these hoops are, for Zach and that shot thing, these hoops are not the most difficult. They do demand some respect, as quadways always do, but we were mentioning earlier, Edmund's upbringing in New Zealand in croquet, and the quadways there set in that firm clay soil are just a different beast. And we don't really get to experience that as much in the States. So even if you come up on a shot like that where you might have like a 30-degree angle, it's still very runnable by a healthy degree. Pretty good. It's a little short, but you don't want to leave it better than what I did yesterday.
That's one of the scariest shots, because when you're doing a takeoff from that distance, you don't want to leave yourself 6 yards into the ball, because any mistake is fatal. And you definitely don't want to go out of bounds like Tom the other day in his game.
Yeah.
So black's going to be
that's the first time I've done that in years. On these
but it won't be the last time.
Let's hope it is. So we have some more comments. Boss War Eagle does confirm that they do have a small private club called Cajun Croquet Club in Shreveport.
Awesome.
And then we have Richard Hayes wishing us good morning from Hilton Head Island, which I have not been able to get to yet. But I've heard plenty of good things about croquet at Hilton Head. And then we have Mark Campbell wishing us a good morning and thanking us for our insights into the AC game. Mark, we're happy to do it. It's a fun game, and we wish more croquet players took it up. So
this is about textbooks so far for a delayed triple. He's hoping to run this through and be able to rush yellow up to wicket number 10, where that blue ball is. That's the wicket it needs to be peeled at. So a good rush right here. Set it in peeling position, touch blue, and come back to black.
Yeah.
And after wicket
He might have hit
5.
this a little to his right because he's very tight to that stanchion. You just
He
don't
is.
want to accidentally. Yeah, so see, he's looking at it.
He's taking great care on this.
Any right of center, and you probably flick it into that stanchion a bit, and then you're off in the weeds. Not that that would be a turn-ending error, but it would just make things a little bit more complicated. Like that.
Yeah, like that.
So he wanted that up the court by blue. So now, so you see, he just catches it just right of center, and bam, right off of that wire. He left that a little tighter to the hoop, I think, than you might want. A couple more inches to the side would have been preferable. Even if you don't get a straight rush back to 10, there's just no risk on a miscut. Now he's got to do this as a big full roll. He needs two things. He needs yellow to be in good position, at least a couple of yards in front of the hoop in a peelable area.
He would like it
And
within a yard of the hoop, I think.
From here, I wouldn't be that aggressive, but he needs to make sure that red has a controlled hit on blue so he can keep it in the area. Ooh, he's not going to get yellow anywhere near in front of the hoop.
He never even looked at black with that spacing. It might have been a little more controllable on yellow to be able to send it up there with a drive shot going directly to black. I'm surprised he didn't look at that because, you know, it's very, very important to get that yellow ball in good position for this delayed peel. Now he's going to have to get a rush out of wicket number 5 to make sure he gets good position on yellow. And that's always tricky out of 5. This is where a lot of the mistakes happen. If he does not get that rush out of 5, he's got another big roll shot trying to get behind yellow to rush it into peeling position. And this is where things sometimes spiral out of control a little bit. So
Yeah.
we'll see how one of the best in the world handles this tricky situation. So he's hoping to rush this back probably yard and a half maybe to give himself a little bit of space coming through to get the rush. So I'm guessing this is going to be about 4 feet from the hoop.
You would guess correctly. You know, you mentioned best in the world, or one of the best in the world. Zach has had a couple of phenomenal years since 2024, which has seen his ranking and his results skyrocket. In conjunction with his acceptance of employment at the National Croquet Center over the last couple of seasons. So he's been able, for those who don't know, Zach Watson, for the majority of his life, has lived in rural Virginia, and where he does have a croquet lawn at his house that he and his father built and maintained. But
Maybe the best in the world.
yeah, it's a great lawn. 2 great lawns, actually. And but he got very little time ever to practice for years and years because he and his father ran their own business in construction. And they would be up with the sun and down with it most days, you know, going all over, working on their projects. So he would give himself a little time to practice around major events, but he would roll up to a national championship having practiced for a day and still end up in the final. He's just so immensely talented.
Well, that shot was a good example. Getting the rush on yellow into peeling position with that big roll shot. That's something that very few players in the world would be skilled or confident enough to even try.
Yeah. Now he just wants a little cut on this. Oh, he didn't. Actually, this is fine because he might just be going for jaws here. The only problem is he's going to have, if he plays this straight, he's going to have a little bit of an awkward rush on blue. So he needs to play this with some draw, I think, as a roll shot to get up north of blue a bit. So I think he's going to hit this quite soft and just hope to get it in the jaws.
I think he might be looking at straight and take the longer cut rush. Nope, you're right.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that. Ooh. A little softer than that might have stuck in the jaws, but now it's rolled off and judging
He's
from
just checking to see if that's rushable.
Yeah, and it is, but judging from that angle, he's going to have to get on it pretty precisely after this. So,
but he does have a safety net in that black is deep enough where.
And once
he has
again,
to
just
do a
under hitting
takeoff
that rush a
right.
little bit. You just don't want to keep approaching hoops from these positions.
Yeah. But again, he's used to the fast lawns at NCC, and no matter how hard you try, it's it's against the human nature to force it.
We have our good friend Greg Fletcher in the chat. So, hey, Greg, how's it going?
Hello, Greg.
Howdy, howdy.
I'd say good morning, but over there in Germany, it's afternoon for you. Hope all is going well.
So Zach has once again managed quite well. He'll leave blue there. He'll be looking to take off to a position in line with where he wants to rush peel, which we saw him looking at earlier is going to be pretty angled to the far side from his approach. So he needs to go past this ball a bit.
Well, the danger here is if he does not get the rush peel, he's got no pioneer at hoop 8. Yeah. So blue is not in a good position to get down there. So this is quite important that he rushes this.
He got a great angle. He's a little longer than he might want. So, and again, this is just kind of the same as when he flicked off of the wire for this initial rush to get up here. If you hit this a little wrong, he did it well. But can he get it to 2-back?
Yeah, that's the question.
I think he can get it close.
But the other question is, if he cannot, does he just load it over at 11 and rush blue down? If he can get it to 2-back.
Why did you put that clip on the hoop?
I guess he's not expecting to finish.
You don't typically see that. He was like, why did he put...
Well, I promise
don't project such a lack of confidence there.
Yeah, I think he's pretty sure he's going to at least attempt to finish this.
Greg says it is afternoon. Things are well and good to hear us both on the commentary.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he can't even get it anywhere near 2-back.
Yeah, so...
This is... Wow, what a pass roll. Holy moly.
Yeah, that was very, very good.
I mean, he's going to, he sacrificed a little. He couldn't get the position on black he wanted, but look at that ratio.
Yeah, that was very, very good. But
he got that in peeling position.
But he didn't get it in peeling position where he can rush.
That's a 200% ratio.
He's still going to rush blue down to
yeah, and it's in an awkward
number 8.
Yeah, it's in an awkward escape ball position too.
Yeah, so he's
not going to be able to get, and he's going to have to roll up from black on the far side. So it's starting to get, and this is the thing, folks. Like, it started with just not getting yellow up to hoop 4-back properly.
Right.
He hit off that hoop that forced him to do the longer roll shot, which he didn't hit perfectly. Then he ends up, getting a good rush on it, but doesn't get it in the jaws properly because he was approaching from further away than he wanted. Had to play it with draw. So a lot of people will look at turns like this and go, oh, well, he just, he made a couple of the rush peel was poor, so he didn't get through. Well, why was the rush peel poor? Because the ball was in an awkward position. The ball was in an awkward position because he didn't keep things under control beforehand. So if you're looking to improve your AC game, you have to understand that things build on each other. It's very rarely just the shot that you missed that was the poor shot. Maybe you did make a poor shot, fine. But why? We have to start asking ourselves the question of, was there a way to get myself to not even be in the position to have to hit that shot? Right. If I have a 50-50 hoop shot that, is very difficult and angled, was there a series of things that I did wrong to even get here that could have been prevented?
It is typical in my experience that that could be really good. It is typical in my experience that when I make a bad shot running a triple, it usually takes 3 really good shots to get back in form. And
if you don't make all 3 of them, then you're just constantly chasing.
Yeah, chasing and getting further and further behind, and this is where breaks break down.
Mm-hmm. So he's played it well to get a good rush, so he should actually recover from this now. Yellow is more or less glued to that wire, but it's right up near the hoop that needs to be peeled, so he won't feel any urgency about that as long as he can get through 2-back properly. Right. He's got a good pioneer.
That is a
fantastic rush.
Exceptional rush. Really, really good rush. That's how great players get out of trouble.
Yes.
Exceptional. But don't try that at home.
So, oh, what happened there? He just managed to grovel through it. That hoop just grabbed a hold of him. Probably caught a little extra wire. He's asking his opponent if he wants this watched. Zach knows he can get a mallet on it, but you just want to make sure that your opponent and you have an understanding. And he hits it. So very lucky there to get away with that. So that was a combination. The reason that he's gotten away with that is a combination of he had made it all the way through, but not so much that he was going to struggle to get his mallet on the ball. And his reception ball was straight enough behind the hoop that he could get a clean swipe at it. If his reception ball had been more off to the side, then he would not have been able to hit that. So really lucky there to get away with that cleanly. Those are the kind of things that when you're the opponent sitting on the bench, you go, ooh, and you perk up, and then they're like, of course you made it. So, okay. He's got this back in order. Now, what's interesting to me is yellow is on the wire of the hoop. He has put blue all the way to 4-back. Normally you would put blue next to hoop 11 as a good escape ball so that you could do a little soft peel and escape right over. So what he may be thinking, wow, that was tight too. So he got the rush though. That is a perfect rush setup. He wants to rush this up close to 11. Yellow's so close to the hoop, he may be thinking, if I can get control and just tap yellow back in front, I can just do a takeoff peel either to jaws it or get it through by a couple of feet and then just take off right back over to blue. Now, with that being said, I wouldn't have hit that black ball quite so hard because it's not, and you can see here, he doesn't love his position, little body language there, he shook his head. Because now you need to get back to the other side of yellow while also positioning black a couple of yards or a yard or so south of the hoop. We're going to see another pass roll. Another good pass roll. So now, though, this is going to be he would have liked to have been on the south side of yellow so that he could knock it a little bit away from the wire. So now you almost have to hit it and try to bounce it back off the wire to where it pops right in front. So he's looking at angles here, I think, between the ball and the wire to see what kind of reaction he's going to get. It's very hard to predict. How hard do you hit it? So, yeah, so see, he hit it into the wire at the right angle. He tried to just ricochet it back off, and it looks like it worked well. But I don't think it's peelable with the angle he's going to have to get this takeoff. He's not lining it up to peel it. So he's tidied it up so he can go for the straight double. And again, I think that it was the rush with black. He had the rush pointed perfectly where he wanted it. Had he hit that a little bit short of hoop 11, he could have sent black to the position it now occupies while approaching yellow from the correct side to just tap it back in front. But even before that, if he had just sent blue a little bit closer to 11 and not gotten it all the way up to 4-back, then he would have had a much more viable escape ball. So it's just little things, but he is getting it around. And Zach is supremely confident. He knows that he can do it. Those last couple of hoops he's groveled through must have made him nervous. He pushed that one through pretty good. You all saw he ran a 6-inch hoop by 4 yards. So definitely wasn't playing around. So maybe just a little bit of nerve in those hoops after 2-back and 3-back barely got through. And that can happen sometimes, is even when the hoops are objectively not that difficult, that he's not happy with himself about that. You need blue as a good ball, and that's potentially going to be in the way. When yellow comes through, you can't quite predict how it's going to come out of the hoop. It could go a little bit east or west of the stake. It could go even more east or west than, where blue's sitting, but you're just giving the peg is already enough of an obstacle. You just gave yourself a very wide area where you do not want the yellow ball going. So, especially now, if yellow is not in this hoop at all, and he's approaching it from an angle, so we would expect if he plays this correctly, it's going to go west of the hoop, so on the far side of the peg from the blue ball, because it's going to catch the right-hand wire from our screen's perspective. So you would expect that this won't collide with blue, but there's just the yellow ball could come out in any direction. There's just no way to predict. So see, it comes out almost straight, and he's surprised by that. He thought it was going to catch more wire. So he hit that pretty firmly. But he got past the blue ball. Matthew Essex says, what's the status of the Guffey-Smith match? Matthew, are you here? But they're all the way over on lawn 1, and unfortunately I'm about 300 yards away with a tent in between me, so I do not know the status at the moment. I can try to lean over. I see what looks to be Matt Smith on the croquet lawn. He has been on the croquet lawn quite a bit, so once again, this is just going to be a little bit. He's got to get blue as a decent side ball and get around to the other side of yellow. You need a really precise rush here. Looks like he's done it. Might require just a touch of cut in order to get it to a comfortable position. I think the rush is pointed a little bit in front of the hoop, but no, he's played it straight. And coming up just a touch short. So that's going to be a fairly angled rover peel. So there's two ways to play this. The first way is just to do it as a true Irish peel, which is both yellow and red are going to be put through the hoop. He's going to hit a big enough stroke that yellow goes through and red at least sticks in the jaws. The dangers of that when you have an angle is that if yellow catches and doesn't go through, it can knock red off and deflect, or you'll be stymied and not be able to hit another ball first, and you'll have to deal with your partner. So, but he's done it perfectly. The other way that a lot of people would have done in that situation, especially if they have a good deep ball, as Zach does, is they would have attempted to jaws yellow, drag jump it, or just jump over it, and then deal with the deep ball and maybe try to cannon it through. But look at that. That's a great replay. He's played that perfectly. So it looks like we have our first finalist, barring any disasters.
We do not. It is best of 5 today.
Oh, it's best of 5.
So
I forgot, folks. I came in late. I did not get the memo on that. Golly gee, this is great.
Today and tomorrow. So
I knew the finals was best of 5, but I did not realize, I guess we have the whole day. So scoreboard is not up to date because the screen turned off and I forgot about it.
So the only possible mistake right now for Zach is not getting yellow pegged out, or
a grievous,
which is rushing yellow into the center peg. So he's got to be very careful.
Did you see what the status of the Darren?
I'm going to go over there and check right now. So as he finishes this, I'll give you an update.
All right. I will update our scoreboard. Well, I'll reset these to 0 and I'll set the game because and that is a triple peel. This is Mr. Zach Watson in game 2. $26 TP0, $26 TP1 to Zach Watson as our first 2 results. Zach playing really fabulously. I'm actually going to look really quickly on croquet scores. I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think Zach has dropped triple in a single game. So if we look, he was the top seeded player. He's currently the number 1 player in the United States, one of the top 10 in the world. 6 block games with 5 triples and 1 straight triple. And then when going into the knockout, I'm sorry, he did drop a few triples. In his win over Matt Griffith, he had 1 triple and 1 non-triple finish, and then he had the same in his match yesterday with Stephen Morgan. So out of, 10 games he's played, he has 8 triples, so including a straight triple. So just wonderful performance being put up by Zach, very consistent. And it goes back to what I was saying. He has really, really, really become just an unfathomably better player since he's gotten to the NCC and has been their club pro and has been able to spend all of his days on the croquet court and be able to practice a little bit more often because he never traditionally was able to practice and was still just so immensely talented that he was able to compete at a world-class level. So he's really elevated his game to where there are few opponents, I fear no man, but that boy is a beast. So if you get Zach on the court, it's a scary proposition, especially if he's in form. People might remember that at the very venue 2 years ago, me and him met in the finals of the AC National Championship, and it was a great year for me, great tournament for me, and Zach just wasn't on form. He told me even before the match and after that, the whole week, he just didn't feel comfortable. He wasn't getting a lot of practice time. He wasn't, feeling in the rhythm, and he just looked to be a different player. And pretty much from that moment forward, when he started getting more practice and he started playing a little bit more often, just every single performance he's put up has been just overwhelmingly impressive. I used to think that we were pretty evenly matched, and now, he strikes fear into my heart some days. But he's just so consistent. So here we go, the beginning of game 3. It's Zach's choice, and Zach is laying in a super shot. And Zach has sort of started a trend among some of the Americans of Zach loves setting his super shot out a lot wider. In fact, that's actually pretty narrow towards the center post for what Zach normally does. Zach has told me on multiple occasions that he actually will go to the end of A-ball and aim his super shot at hoop 2 and try to fan it out there, or even a little bit west of hoop 2 sometimes, because he realized that people would not go into corner 2 if he did that, for the most part. And he really did not like that roll up from corner 2. That was the one thing that he said made him uncomfortable. So people stopped going to corner 2 if he set up the super shot really wide, because all of a sudden it was easier to get that approach on the ball. So he'll be and he also, if they do this lag response, has the option to shoot at this full pace. Now, and he's
shooting full pace anyway, because he realizes that if he did not hit that red ball right there, then that would be a double target. If he went soft for Edmund, and Edmund would not have missed that. Quick update on Matt Smith against Darren Guffey in the quarterfinals. Matt has a ball for the peg and 7, and Darren has a ball at 7 and 10. Matt has innings, no break or anything, but he has control of the game right now. But that's the latest update in that.
And once again, just under-hitting these rushes, and he knew it. Yeah. He's very disappointed in that.
But again, it's hard to get over the fact that you have to hit it at double the speed that he's used to in these rushes. Yeah. It just is not instinctive. But
so
that is going to be
great effort.
Tricky.
But it's makeable. If that had stopped 6 inches short, this would be a different story.
Makeable, but he'll be breathing a little better once he makes this.
And he made it.
Done quite well.
And you see, he ran that quite firmly. That was the hoop that grabbed a hold of him on the other way last game, and he got through by an inch, which would have been disastrous here. So it's nice that when he hit red so dead straight at the perfect pace, he gave himself a perfect point here at 2.
I know. Yeah.
So the rich just get richer. So
well, the more talented you are, the luckier you get.
That's
it's
right.
Funny how that works.
Paul Newbecker says, seems like Darren's having a hell of a tournament. Darren has had a really good tournament. He's only played one AC tournament before this and had 12 games, and he's had a couple of milestones this tournament, making a knockout. And also, he got his first ever triple peel in a sanctioned game.
This is the first time I've had a chance to witness Darren play, and he has one of the most beautiful swings. I've seen him play golf croquet a lot, but he reminds me very much of Matthew. He's got a swing that is perfect tempo. He can play both Solomon and Irish, and both of them are extremely good swings. He is very new to the game. His decision-making still has a lot of improvement left, but he is one of the really talented upcoming young Americans that we've developed into the game. So we are thrilled at the progress that Darren is making in his early years of AC. We know what he can do with GC, and now to see him enjoy and progress in AC is just terrific for the sport.
Yeah. So Zach, pretty much from the jump, has everything under control, sending down a really good Pioneer and getting the perfect rush on black. I mean, that's just a fantastic shot.
That is about perfection right there.
You could hardly put the balls down with your hand better than that. So
this is shaping up to be similar to game one in that before Edmund ever has a shot to hit a ball to get into a break, he may already be down 9 wickets. So this is kind of what happens playing Zach, Matthew, or Edmund, or some of these top players. There are very few opportunities that you have to get into the game. They're like pit bulls. They don't like to give up the balls very easy.
So now, he did not get a rush out of 3, which he would have liked. And that's one of the things that I've noticed, because these lawns are kind of slow and the hoops are a little bit grabby at times if you hit them too softly. People have been struggling to get forward rushes, so there's been a lot of these big roll shots. Now, obviously, he's dealt with that very well. But just one of those things where if you're looking to improve your break running, on odd-numbered hoops, especially where you have a hoop facing the next hoop down the court, so 1 to 2, 3 to 4, so on and so forth, 5 to 6. Most of the time on those long distances, you would like forward rushes so that you can get the reception ball down the lawn and then approach your Pioneer from a shorter distance. And it just keeps everything very tight, very controlled, versus those long roll shots where you have certain things that can go wrong if you mishit it or misjudge the ratio.
Beautifully played. So yellow. Ooh.
That is
I think
close.
He
Close.
can get that up workable.
That was almost disastrous. So if that ball had not bounced back as much as it did, he would have had no way to get that up the court to hoop 6, and he would have had a really hard time even getting to the black ball, which does have hoop 5 in the way. So this is still an awkward position. You see how it just sort of trickled back. And he is able to get it. He's dealt with it really, really, really well again. Gosh, what a good split shot that is.
That is exceptionally good, especially if he gets a forward rush out of hoop 5. I'm a little surprised he didn't put black just a little bit deeper with red that deep at 6. But Zach is so confident in his roll shots that even if he doesn't get a forward rush, he feels really good about his roll shots. Although, it's a good example right there. They need a referee out there, so I'm sure he just wants that hoop checked. So I'm going to leave you for a minute. Zach, I got it.
So as David goes out, we're going to see a replay here of this. Very short hoop. And he immediately threw his mallet up. He hit that right in the middle. He says he just said to David that the ball spun in place in the hoop. So, and as the day goes on and it gets a little hotter, and these suns bake the court, the quadways can sometimes tighten up. So they've marked the spot where the ball was. It is stuck. The hoop does have to be replaced. And this happens. We're seeing a replay here of that fantastic split shot. I mean, and if he just did one shot like that, it would be impressive. But to have done several accurate roll shots like that in a row just shows you the consistency that he plays with. We have Michael Albert coming out to assist David in the repair of the hoops. So they're going to lift the hoop out of the ground straight up with the mallet, trying to preserve the holes. And there's his son, Kyle Maloof, also assisting, my doubles partner for the doubles in this event, and will also be joining us for our McRobertson Shield team this summer. Yes, Mr. Hayes, the semifinal is a best of 5. So, guys, we have about 54 people watching. I know AC is not the most popular version, but if you have any friends in the croquet world who might be interested in seeing some of their associates play or learning a little bit more about the association game, please ask them to tune in and watch from wherever they may be. We'd love to have them. We'd love to teach them a thing or two if we can. So the goal with this, the thing that makes this tricky is that we don't want the hoop to be loose. We don't want it to be easy, but we do need it to be able to pass through.
Eclipsing the sparkle of jewels and beyond collecting art. True luxury is not a thing acquired or a status to declare. Real, meaningful luxury is a feeling discovered. The opulence of spirit. The relaxed, resplendent luxury of the Sarasota area. Feel the difference.
To discover the hidden gems of Sarasota, escape to Sarasota County, where sun-kissed beaches meet award-winning restaurants and vibrant cultural attractions. Plan your unforgettable getaway today.
All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial break. We are back. They have reset the hoop. They are checking it now to make sure that it is possible for the ball to get through. So the way that you check for a stuck hoop is that little lesson for the folks out there. Human beings have never made a perfectly spherical object. We've gotten very close, but nothing is perfectly spherical. So some directions on the ball are going to be slightly wider than others. So you put the ball in the middle of the hoop and you spin it around all which way, trying to find if any single orientation of the ball is going to stick or jam in the hoop, because one direction it may not, or it may have some clearance, and then you turn it just, a little bit of a hair, and all of a sudden it's in contact. So they've determined, after resetting that hoop, that no matter which way the yellow was stuck in there, that it was going to pass through. And obviously you see that Zach made the hoop quite cleanly, and the break will continue. So
the hoops are set extremely tight. It is well below a 64th of an inch. And that yellow ball is a little bit larger than the others. The others all had probably slightly less than a 64th, but that yellow ball was wedged pretty tight. And it wasn't just one diagonal, it was the whole thing. So as good as those Invictus balls are, they are not perfect. And when they're set to under a 64th of an inch, it is very possible to have wedged balls.
I was just explaining before you got back that balls are not perfectly spherical, so they have to be checked from a variety of positions in order to ensure.
You have to rotate them around, check every axis.
The most fun fact, the most spherical manufactured object is a 1 kilogram sphere made of pure silicone 28.
Okay.
So,
that's way over my head, Tom.
That's all right.
You got to speak English to this old boy. This is going to be a little interesting.
Yeah, I think he's got.
I don't know how far through that black ball is.
It's a few inches behind the hoop.
Okay.
If we have that other camera angle again from the side, you can see it.
Yeah, okay, so this should be okay. The problem that he has is if black is too close to the wicket,
it may stop him from going through.
Right. The ball may hit black.
I think he's got this fine.
But he's done that beautifully right there. But what
I think bothered him was that it wasn't directly behind the hoop. He knew that black was going to come out at this angle, and it was going to make his three-back Pioneer chances. At the power he was going to have to hit it, it was going to make this awkward.
This is getting a little awkward now anyway.
Yeah,
just
he's not sending this all the way to three-back.
No, he has no chance to it where he rushed that to. But
so I think he was just mentally trying to deal with it as best he could. Yeah, because that's, in terms of three-back Pioneers, that's not a good one.
But this is a good lesson for everyone. He's not happy with that black Pioneer for sure. But the one thing that he needed to make sure of is that he gets through the hoop that he's on. So, he needed to make sure he's got this hoop in good order. Now he's got a good chance to rush red to black. And even though it's a long rush to the wicket, he should be able to handle this well. But, instead of trying to force that good Pioneer and then a long roll up, he wants to always keep the hoop in front of him as easy as he can. So, done a good job so far, one good rush, and he will have completed his first 9 wickets with ball number 3. So again, he's taken cautious approach, just making sure that he has really good control on black, the rush on black.
So for those at home who are tuning in, who are not familiar with the rules of association, maybe you're a 6-wicket player, maybe you're just a golf cricket player who wants to see what all the hype is about, he is not going to make any hoops past this one he's currently approaching. So this is hoop 9, or 3-back as it's referred to in peeling turn croquet. And so he will be exclusively going through this hoop and this hoop only at this end of this turn. He will not go through the next one, because if he did, he would give up a lift to contact, ball in hand, on the end of this turn, because he would have gone through hoop 7 and hoop 10 in the same turn to start the game. So he's going to now do what's called setting a leave, where he's going to place all 3 of these balls in a position that is going to do 2 things. It's going to make it difficult for Edmund to hit anything, and it's going to make it easy for Zach to get started on his own turn.
So he's setting a leave called, it looks like he's going to set a 3-duck leave, which means the 3 balls set across the court.
That's a great stop shot.
That is really, really good, so that wherever Edmund shoots, he will not have a double. He'll have a max list distance shot. And Zach wants to make sure that the ball that he rushes to wicket number 1 is going to be the partner ball. That's going to be important, because it's going to be the easiest way that he gets a Pioneer of having partner ball at wicket 3. That's the wicket that needs to be peeled. So he's just trying to figure out where he wants the balls, but they're going to be spread horizontally in a line across the court. Now he wants to put yellow in a position where he can hit black, split it to 2, and rush yellow to 1. So he's putting it, finding that perfect position.
Patricia Agabidi says, hi, everyone. Patricia, where are you listening from? All right. Zach has completed his first break with only a little bit of excitement. But a beautiful 3-duck sleeve. It's a little bit more southerly than I've seen it done traditionally.
Yeah, it's a little shorter for
an A-balk shot.
For an A-balk line shot. So the conservative play right here is the A-balk shot into corner number 2. But again, Edmund has to hit here. there. So if it is shorter from the B block or he can create any kind of double, he certainly should be inclined to take that shot. He basically has to hit or this game is likely finished. And I think Edmund knows that. Looks like he's going to take the A-box shot.
You can see on the left-hand side of the screen there, Zach standing with fellow teammate and perennial doubles partner Matthew Essick and Adam Peck, who is also one of our young up-and-coming players and the son of Ursula Peck, our office manager for the USCA.
Yep. Adam is only about a year and a half into the game and already winning every tournament he plays in. So
big shot coming up here for Edmund.
Thrilled to have Adam in the game.
Fire. Nope. Narrow miss on the right-hand side. There's Kyle Maloof. So there's half of the McRobertson team standing there. Zach Watson, Matthew Essick, and Kyle Maloof. The team will also include myself, Ben Rothman, and Stephen Morgan. Ben Rothman could not be here at this tournament with us today on the East Coast. He's all the way out in sunny California. But we're looking forward to our trip to England this summer. All right, so
Ben is the only one with a real job. The rest of you guys are all
bunch of bums, man. A bunch of bums.
No, we are lucky over here in the States that a lot of these country clubs have hired these young players as instructors, which gives our young players a lot of court time and has helped to develop their progress. And we are certainly thrilled about that here in the States.
Sometimes it feels like progress.
No.
Sometimes you wonder, like, man, when am I going to grow up and stop doing that? Well, the thing that, I've coming to find in my own croquet experience is that, and Zach knows this very well, Zach grew up in competitive sports. He was a very good college tennis player, is that no matter how good you get technically at things, you're just going to have bad days. Yeah. And sometimes even the basics of your sport become difficult.
We all keep hoping that you keep reminding yourself of that, Tom, because, Tom Balding is one of the greatest shooters and shot makers that we have in the States and in the game of croquet. And
left this one a little short.
Tom gets a little hard on himself sometimes, so we have to keep slapping him around from time to time.
A shocking stuff at Hoop 1. So you saw that he just left that ball a little short. It died a little early, and he didn't want to hammer it through and go all the way down the lawn, so he took a little bit off it, and it just... Now, he has gotten lucky that it is runnable. It didn't bounce off the wire.
Well, so the problem is Eddie's got 8 yards from blue to black.
And everything in front of him.
Yeah.
So the shot here is, even a lot of people say, well, whoa, why wouldn't you shoot black at blue? It's much shorter. Well, if he misses, then he still gives up a break. If this hoop is in his backswing, then he probably will turn around and hit it blue. But he has a double target of sorts here, probably, with yellow and red.
If he does, this shot's good. It's certainly a good defensive shot, though. Yeah. And it certainly will slow
just not sure about his backswing.
But he really has to make a hit.
Yeah.
And
this is a shot he made against me yesterday. So a little shorter. He wasn't hampered, but he's very good. He wants this watch.
Okay.
Oh, he wants red watch just in case. So Matthew Essick walking out to just observe the red ball. I don't think he's aiming at yellow, but it is a double target of sorts. It's off, and he's hit.
He's hit yellow. Very good shot.
Now, he's going to have to play this pretty well because, unfortunately, because his backswing was somewhat inhibited, he did not hit that as hard as he might have otherwise chosen to. Edmund, a very firm hitter, and he only nicked yellow enough that it's about level with the hoop. So he has to ensure that he does get yellow up the court enough to have a pioneer, while also making sure he can hit red.
No, he's looking at a load and hold here.
Oh, yes, the load and hold.
So
No, he's gonna
No,
get-
he is not.
He's going to
So
try to get yellow.
blown and hold would be leaving yellow short, hitting red, and
that might
stop shotting red as his pioneer at 2 as he goes through the wicket. He has not chosen that route, which is a little bit surprising with red in the draws.
What I suspect we're going to see is I suspect he's going to try to send red to 3 and maybe try to rush yellow up towards his part. That turn from Zach looking shockingly similar to what I did to give Ed in the first game and the second in our round yesterday.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
And again, this just goes back to, like we've just seen Zach put down 2 clean games, play some amazing croquet, and even the simple things can get us a moment's loss of concentration.
Yeah.
Or just a bit of bad luck.
But it's comforting for all of us mortals to watch even these great players.
That's a hell of a stop shot, Hank. Look at
Yeah,
that
that's
ratio. That's like a 1-7. Why can't I do that?
It's mallet is 3.5 pounds.
No, it's not. It's 214.
Yeah.
I went down in weight just specifically to get a better stop shot, and it didn't help.
That is exactly the same as I use.
You're seeing the problem. Zach uses a 3-pound mallet and gets a better stop shot than me.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there who don't know, we have slow-mode my stop shot. We have confirmed that I'm making clean contact. I have tried every method in the book, and on my best days, I can get a 1-5. We do not know why I am physically incapable of getting a good stop shot.
Well, for the same reason you don't get a good stop shot, you are one of the best hoop runners in the game because your ball naturally comes off the mallet with a little bit of forward roll. So even when you catch a little wire, your balls tend to go through the hoops a lot better. So what you give up with stop shot technique, you make up with wicket shooting technique. And you can manage your croquet shots, but missing a hoop shot is much more fatal. So no sympathy for you, Tom.
Oh, well.
Well, we're going to see in a minute how confident Edmund's feeling. He may go through this to the baseline and take the 6-yard shot at yellow in the corner. That'll make his break a whole lot easier. I imagine that's what he's going to do here.
Yeah, that boundary back there is pretty true.
Yeah, and 6 yards.
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, so he's chosen to just rush this into the middle of the court. He'll take off to yellow and go to...
I don't like going to yellow with red where it is.
Yeah, I don't either because it's such a big roll shot with a bad pioneer.
I think he should just get the 3 ball together and retrieve yellow as he comes to 7.
I don't know. I think he takes the 6-yarder there and hits yellow.
If his pioneer was good at 3, yeah, go to yellow.
Well,
but I think here I think he's doing the right thing. I think he's focusing on tidying up the break, saying, if I can't put together a decent 3 ball, then I shouldn't win the game anyway. So I just need to do what I need to do.
Yeah, but this is not easy even from there to tidy up this break. That is not easy to get that good rush on that bad pioneer for 3. He's done a good job, but
I think he needs to cut this a bit.
He needs to cut it a lot.
And he's cut it well.
Yeah, that is a beautiful rush. Beautiful.
I mean, that is just perfect. Let's get the camera angle from the north side of the court and just show where that ball has landed. So look at that.
This is good.
Fantastic.
That we're going to get a chance to watch Edmund play a little bit because he is truly one of the most talented players in the world and one of the most pleasing to watch. I just love the natural rhythm that he has, the shot-making skills that he has. So this is a great opportunity for me to see what Edmund can do.
Yeah. So same thing with Zach in the last game when he ran his first break. Did not get in. He had cut that ball beautifully, but it landed so close to the hoop there was no prospect of a forward rush. So he's going to have to deal, and he's left blue level with hoop 4. So this is going to be a pretty big full roll. He might even love this to be a slight pass roll, but at this type of ratio, you'll take what you can get. So
He's got a lot of power for a little guy.
yeah,
It's, this is a shot that on these slow lawns would
that's a great shot.
be forcing my limits, but for Edmund,
Oh, some awkwardness here.
Yeah.
Red has stuck in the back of hoop 5, which in and of itself is not horrible because if he can get behind hoop 5, he just bops it through. But black was also on a perfect line, much like Zach's was, but it came up a little short. So now he's going to have to gently rotate blue, do a reverse takeoff. And again, it's just a little awkwardness. So here's the problem now. He doesn't get to choose where blue ends up. He's basically going to leave it right where it is. If he doesn't get perfect position on this hoop, he may have to run a little more firmly than he likes and has a slightly less controlled rush. So he's done that really well, though. But it is slightly angled, and it's maybe 1.5 feet. So
not much angle. He's just going to make some good swings. The problem is, having sat for most of the first couple of hours of the match, 2.5 hours, he really hasn't had a chance to get into a rhythm.
Say that again?
So currently, Darren has run around and staked out. So his other ball's for 4-back.
So Darren's for peg and 4-back.
No, he's staked. He's boxing 4-back.
Box and 4-back.
And Matt Smith is for head alt and 2-back. So if he's going to attempt to run his 2-back ball around for the win.
Matt Smith is on a 2-ball finishing turn.
He has not hit it yet.
Okay.
He's about to try.
So Stephen Morgan here, giving me an update about the Darren Guffey and Matt Smith game. Darren Guffey has pegged out one of his balls, and his other ball is for 4-back. Ooh, where's that black going? Where's that black going? Where's that black going? That got away from him.
Yep.
What?
Well, he doesn't look too concerned with it.
What was a trivial shot has now become a bit of a tester.
Yep.
And he missed it.
No, he got it.
Oh no, he got it.
He got it. Definitely hit it.
I thought that bounced off the wire from that angle.
No, it definitely hit it.
I was looking at the screen and not in real life.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, the screen did not show that well. So now he can do a hoop and roquet up the lawn a little bit. So anyway, so Darren is for 4-back and the box. He has pegged one of his balls out. Matt Smith has just hit in with a ball for peg and a ball for 2-back and is going to attempt to run his 2-back ball around. So coming down to the wire in game 3 in that game.
How much time is left?
I do not know. They used up a lot of it last night.
Job there.
Yep, so, and you'll notice that he put red a little deeper. In the normal 3-ball sequence, you would never put red there.
Yep.
Because if he was only using 3 balls to get around, he's going to have to turn around right after hoop 6 and send his partner ball down to hoop 8. So, and he would not be able to do that and get to the red ball when it's so far north. But he's going to leave blue wherever in the middle of the court that it ends up after this rush. He's going to take off to yellow. Yellow's going to go down as his pioneer, and he's going to approach the red ball. So, and again, if this were me, I would not like my stop shot ratio, but as we've seen, Edmund has a fantastic ratio, and he'll be able to get a decent pioneer.
Well, we're going to see how good his ratio is on this angle.
I mean, yellow to red.
Yellow to red.
Yeah. So he's going to try to, I'm surprised he put it on this side of the hoop and not on the other side to just rush it into the middle and give himself a shorter takeoff. And he's mishit that entirely on the wrong side.
He seemed to want it over there.
He shook his head. He did not like it.
Was a bad shot.
So
yeah, I wouldn't want this takeoff to yellow.
So now, all of a sudden, hoop 2 is potentially, is he not taking,
He is leaving yellow right where it is.
Oh no, he's taking off. He's taking.
Matt Smith was actually for 1-back, rushed to the hoop, approached to about 4 feet, missed the hoop, match is over.
Oh. All right. Well, it looks like Darren Guffey has triumphed over Matt Smith. Edmund's playing this as a split of some sort.
Yeah, this is really awkward.
Or a really thick takeoff. He wants everything.
I am.
That blue ball is traveling.
Yellow.
That blue ball is traveling. That black ball is also traveling.
He's got it.
Wow.
Turned out beautiful.
Well, blue did not turn out beautiful, but
No, but he's going to load yellow down
Yeah.
there, and he has blue.
that's a very, very ballsy shot.
I don't think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident he was hoping blue was going to be a good
Well,
putt.
I know, but I just feel like
Uh-huh.
if you do a thick takeoff, I don't know why he sent blue after 6 to the east. Send it to the west, rush it back into the middle, deal with yellow.
I have not figured that out either, Tom, but
He's on the court and we're not, so
he's exactly right. He is the one out there still playing in the semifinals of the Nationals. So interesting where he's sending yellow to.
yeah, this is what is this position?
So
He's accepting blue as his pioneer?
He may not be going through. Hoop number 7.
There's no way. Not with blue that close to the ball
He
line.
is not.
I think he's just planning on getting some sort of rush on yellow back towards the corner.
Okay. Yeah.
He's going to set a diagonal, so he's setting this up to where he can get a ball tight to the peg and control a rush. I just think that there's easier ways to do this. With blue being so bad as a pioneer.
Well, he's hoping to rush yellow down, but it's still going to be difficult to set a good diagonal or.
I'm also shocked he didn't rush that over more. He's giving himself a longer approach on this yellow than I would.
Yeah. Well, he knows his ratios, so he wants a good pioneer down at 9, and he definitely wants a good rush on yellow to blue.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most important.
See, he's stepping up on this a bit. Yeah.
That's very
Not bad.
reasonable. He'd like it lined up a little closer to blue. This is.
He's going to have to cut this.
Oh, that's beautifully done.
Oh, he's looking at it. It's going to hit blue.
Oh,
He put his
that
hands on his
is
hips immediately.
Incredibly unfortunate.
Wow.
That happened.
Wow. And like I said, he was going to have to cut that a little bit if he wanted it south of blue. So, and it went dead straight right into blue.
He was aiming that almost exactly where it went. Just very, very unlucky there.
And see, and that's the thing. Like, I like to give those a wide berth because I've done that before. It's like I'll take a slightly longer approach on that to make sure that that ball is nowhere near. In fact, that's the third time I've seen that happen this tournament.
Really?
Zach and Edmund have both rushed across the court trying to be tight to the other ball, and they both nicked it before. They didn't get the full like center ball contact. So now he's going to have to do an awkward takeoff.
And he's going to have to get by that yellow ball that maybe it's not going to be in his way. That's a pretty good takeoff. But
He's got to cut this. This is not pointed. This is no man's land. And all these balls are by A ball.
Yeah.
It's about as good of a cut as you could hope for. He has unfortunately, though, ended up 2 yards dead behind the hoop. So, for those at home, if there's one position you do not want your pioneer to end up in when you have to approach the hoop, it is dead behind it. Because now, any takeoff he does is going to give him an angled hoop shot. So, he's picked the side that's going to give him a slightly straighter approach. But you see that doesn't get... You don't want to play it too tight to the hoop because if it rolls off a little bit and hits the wire, then you're just out of luck.
Well, he's going to have to come through and hit yellow first anyway. Oh,
That's
he has had the worst luck possible on this break.
that's another reason why having your pioneer dead behind the hoop. Now, what do you do?
Well,
If it were me,
he's going to have to do a reverse diagonal at this point and roll yellow over to red. I don't know how he's going to fix it.
what I would do, I'm going to posit a different approach. Do a new standard. Just do like a 3/4 roll. Send blue over. Get to red. Focus on pinning red. Rush blue.
Rushing blue into where? Corner 1?
No. Try to focus really hard on getting blue wired on red with your rush.
Okay. And then go to
then
yellow.
take off to yellow and just throw it back up north. Now, it does depend on, you do have to get really good shape. So the idea here,
Yeah, he still may do a new standard here.
yeah,
Just weird.
this actually might be an easier way to do it because you don't need to be as precise sending the opponent away. So he wants yellow over here at hoop 4.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, he did not rush it near enough to the hoop. So I think he's bailing on that. What kind of leave is this?
Yeah, it might turn into an old standard.
He didn't do any of this when he played me.
Well, this just goes to show when things get out of hand because of one bad shot, that bad Pioneer with blue a little bit wide of 2 back. He's going to have to do not 3 good shots. He's going to have to do 6 or 7 really good shots to make this respectable leave. He's done a good job leaving yellow over there, so this will be a reverse diagonal, but it's just going to be reverse.
I was about to say, he's not going to get a diagonal out of this unless he's crazy.
Yeah, it'll be an old standard, but it'll be reversed. It looks like he's got to put blue and black up in corner 2.
That is rough, Greg. That is rough.
Yeah. This whole thing has been
It fell apart.
horrendously bad luck for Edmund.
And honestly, it all started with where he rushed blue 2 after 6.
I think it all started when he didn't take the 6-yarder after hoop 2 with yellow in the corner and have 4 balls to work with.
But there was still, if you get the 3 ball together, there's still a perfect recovery for that.
Oh,
but
no,
he needed
there's
blue
no
to just be
question.
retrievable.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I know.
I don't think he should. Blue should have just been a pivot ball
Yeah.
of some sort. So, even if you can't get yellow all the way down, if you get yellow and blue together as you approach 7, you can just rush one next to the other.
Yeah.
He's
This is the right play right here because he knows that Zach is going to pick up that red ball, which is the hoop 1 ball. Even though yellow is a shorter shot.
That was a very short shot.
Yeah, but I know Zach, he's going to take this 13-yarder all day at corner ball.
Meanwhile, on the other lawn next door to us, it looks like Matthew is checking the hoops, so he must be warming up to prepare for his semifinal match. And do we have cameras on that lawn? Will we be able to, if this match ends, because their match is just starting a best 3 out of 5. We're already on game 3, so as the day goes on, we may want to.
Well, we're going to find out whether...
This match ends very quickly. Okay, so what he's doing is this is smart. He's putting yellow on the line for a couple of reasons. Number one is he makes a single ball target if with blue and black if they're both on the east boundary. Number 2 is that if Zach hits with red, much more difficult to get back to hoop 1 with all the other 3 balls on the line.
This is where it's very interesting watching players from different countries, especially New Zealand. They have some more challenging lawns, and some of their tactics are different than the standard tactics that we see in America every day.
All right, so
Interesting choices here.
A modified old standard leave. Typically in the traditional old standard, yellow would be between 3 and 4 north of the peg. Red is pretty much where it would normally be. And then Edmund's balls would be a little bit further apart up to 7 yards apart, maybe. Not quite 7, but one level with hoop 4 and one just outside or in the corner. So,
Yeah, it was really a very good leave from where he was in the court, what he had to work with. That was.
you are correct. Zach is picking up. So an interesting thing here is that I think this balk line drifts into the court. Some of the courts do here. They drift in because I think when they set these concrete bases, it lifted the ground up a little. So
This is the shot I'm
Yeah.
expecting right here.
So I think Zach was just checking to see if he could manufacture any double or triple target if he moved the ball in a little bit. But at those distances where between yellow and then the opponent balls, there's really no realistic double. It would have to be a fluke. So just take the short shot, back yourself to hit.
Yeah, Zach knows he has to hit here. So
And Zach is one of the most consistent hitters that we have in the world. And he's very good at these pressure shots. He steals himself very well. It's off. Right between them. All right. So here's
This will be interesting because it gives Edmund a possible cannon here.
yeah. And if he was gonna so if he had managed to leave blue south of here, right? What he could do is he could obviously if black were the hoop one ball, this would work. He could be looking to do a bombard rush to get ball in hand on red, and then opponent up on the line next to it so he could get the break started. But unfortunately, that's not going to work here. So instead, he could do a cannon, if he can get one, to send him.
Do a possible worm cannon here. It's blue that's going to play. He could possibly get black over to hoop 1 off of red and blue up to yellow with a cannon. So
Well, what I think he could do is, I think what's more realistic is he's going to, I think it would be better if he sends a pioneer out to 2 and gets his rush off the cannon up to yellow.
we'll see what he chooses.
The other question is, how easy is it to get this cannon? Because if he hits this too straight, the red ball might stop before it really gets into the corner. If he hits it at an angle, one of the balls is going to probably be pushed out of the corner.
Yeah.
So there may not actually be much of a... He could probably hit it very gently and hope they get mostly together, but he really needed black to be north of blue here.
Yeah, let's see where they end up. I think
Oh, he did it.
has a cannon. Black's definitely a corner. I can't tell with red, but it looks like it's a corner.
Patricia, everyone can hear me very well. It's projection has always been one of my strong suits, much to certain people's dismay. So I'm easy to find in a crowd.
This is a shot that, this is just a standard cannon that he's doing right here.
Mm-hmm.
He is hoping to get red as close to wicket 2 as possible.
I just think on these slow lawns, there's just no chance that black gets all the way to hoop 1. It's hard on a normal lawn.
Yeah.
So unless you really just hammer it, and then you don't really know exactly how hard to hammer.
The other option is just focus on black and come back to red and yellow.
So for those at home, a cannon is an interesting quirk of association where 3 balls can all be ball in hand at once. Theoretically 4, but I've never seen a 4-ball cannon happen. The only rule is that both balls must be ball in hand on red or be touching red, but the blue and black cannot touch each other because Edmund did not go ball in hand on that ball. He's ball in hand on red. So in this shot, he's going to do a croquet and a roquet. He's croqueting red, and he's roqueting black. And he's played that, given the circumstances, pretty well.
I would call that exceptionally well. A little bit harder would have been better.
Yeah.
But that was a very, very good cannon.
So he is now ball in hand on the black ball. Now, like we said, he came up short, which is very typical of those cannons because you lose a lot of your momentum into the other ball off of the red ball. So he's going to have to do a pretty good hoop approach here. He's playing a wide-angled, stepped-up drive. He's paced it well.
That looks exceptional.
All right, so
he has exactly what he wants for a triple. He's going to have his partner ball at wicket number 3.
Yep.
Which is what he wants.
The only thing that's going to make this slightly awkward to get it on time is that he doesn't have yellow shored up yet at hoop 4. So one of the things to keep in mind when you want your triple on time is that after 2, you send the 2 ball down to hoop 4, but you need both of the other balls at hoop 3.
Right.
So or you need to already have a ball at hoop 4 and rush over or roll over from hoop 2 to hoop 3. So
he will have a choice here. He could roll yellow out on the court.
It does not look like he's looking at that.
Okay, so he's going directly to red right now.
I think if red was a great pioneer, maybe, but
yeah,
it's just far enough that if you go over to yellow and you don't get exactly what you want, that take off.
He's going to yellow.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's going to yellow.
Never say die, Edmund.
So it's really just a matter of what angle he feels best to get the rush on red. He does not want another approach like he had at hoop number 1.
Yeah.
So
he's given himself about a 5-yarder here.
Yeah,
not bad.
I think
a little shorter than he wanted.
At this point in the game, he's now hit enough balls where he's starting to feel a little bit of rhythm to his swing.
Well, he nicked that one.
Yeah, well, for me, that's a center ball hit. So,
oh, I've had a few of those scrapes myself where I leave myself a 7-yarder off of a split shot, and it's like, yowza.
Yeah.
So
he's going to focus on red. If he gets good control of red, he can rush back to the sideline.
And for those at home, if we are talking a little bit quieter, the cameras haven't shown it really, but we are sitting maybe 40 feet from the south boundary of the court in the open air. So we don't want anything that we say to either disrupt the players or influence the players. So
yeah, Tom, for some of us, this is our yelling voice. For others, it's a whisper.
Well, I pulled the microphone closer to you for a reason. So, and this is that's a beautiful shot.
That is really good. He's got yellow beautifully out in the court.
And he's gotten himself decent position to rush red back in front of hoop 2. And on these even-numbered hoops, you do not need the red ball to be super close to the hoop because you have the option of just using the boundary line. As long as you can get red somewhat deep behind the hoop and then just get within a yard or so of the hoop straight on, you can bang it through to the boundary and have a reverse rush back into the lawn.
With yellow being okay at 4, it's not perfect. He has the option of exchanging red and yellow, where if he gets a good rush down to wicket 4, he might make red a better pioneer and then rush yellow back. Or if he's got a straight rush over to black, I think he'll take that right away.
So you see right there just what I was talking about. He intentionally sent red deeper. He didn't worry about getting a perfect 1-foot hoop shot. He was fine with 2.5 feet, and he was just going to run it firmly to the boundary. So you don't have to worry about running those with control. Kind of like how we saw Zach try to run hoop 1 with control from a little further back, and he ended up stuffing.
Yeah.
That little extra swing.
So it looks like he's going to make an exchange here. He'll make red a better pioneer, and he's going to rush yellow up to black. Yellow will be his escape ball. He's hoping to get black peeled after wicket 3. So this shot will explain a lot.
Edmund looking up to the sky because somebody is flying a drone overhead.
Yeah.
And it's audible.
I wonder if it's our camera crew. I wonder if they have a drone for
It's either that or Sharif.
Or Sharif. You're right. I'm guessing maybe Sharif, but
Yeah. Oh, I see it. So he's up there.
he is up there.
He's going higher. Edmund did play a great shot there, though.
That was superb.
Red is, a little to the side of the hoop, but it's very good Pioneer.
Yeah, but
He's
can
weighted
set up
his
a
rush
good
very well
escape
with
here.
yellow.
His yellow ball will be a good escape. Now he just wants really good control on rushing black just to the playing side, about a foot past and about a foot to the inside of hoop 3.
All right. The only awkward thing about that is you'd like to turn around and do this as a straight peel. And with yellow dead behind the hoop, you always get into this awkward position where if I don't get the peelee very far through, I can't do a straight peel because I'll be hampered in my backswing turning around to hit yellow.
And he definitely doesn't want to hit yellow first.
Yeah.
So I think
So he sent
this
black
really
intentionally
good.
a little deep. He didn't rush that up as close to the hoop as I thought he would. He gave himself a bit of a longer approach.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yep.
So now the straight peel is very doable. He does have to make it from further away. So for those at home, and this will help you with your break play, any croquet ball has milling on it. They are not smooth like a billiard ball. And we all know that. We've all seen a croquet ball. But certain types of balls, like we're using Invictus here, have some sharper milling than other balls, especially if the balls are new and are not worn down over years and years of use. And they have, when they come off of each other in a croquet stroke, they have what we call draw or pull. And basically what that is that's the two balls interacting with one another as they separate, and they're pulling each other off of the original line. So if he lines this up straight into the middle of the hoop, if he hits straight into the line of the balls, they're not going to deviate. But if he had to play it as a split shot where both balls are diverting in different directions, what we've been seeing a lot is people not accounting for the proper amount of pull because these balls pull quite a bit. And so it will actually divert off of the line he's aimed it and go somewhere else, especially the longer the distance it has to travel. So when you're running breaks, it's very common for people to just aim the forward ball at the spot they want it to go. Like, oh, I just came out of hoop 2, I'm going to aim it at hoop 4. But you have to give some thought to how much over the course of 80 feet is it going to pull away from that target? And where is it actually going to end up?
Or even 3 feet like this one if you take it as an angle.
He's gotten that through cleanly.
Does he have a swing at yellow? It looks like it. Yep.
Oh, he shook his head slightly. He's asking for... Oh, he does not have a good... He hit that so firmly. Look at where black ended up.
Yeah.
And see, and this is what I said. When you put yellow in that awkward position, now he hit it, but red's a deep pioneer. Once again, he would have liked to rush down this side of the court. Now he has to do another roll shot. And we saw that roll shot kind of was the start of what got him into a little bit of sloppiness in his last break. Yeah. So... And the other thing about this is you want to get a rush out of hoop 4 back up to the north boundary. So you would like to be able to control this hoop. So he really needs to get south of this red ball to get things back on track. And once again,
a really good shot.
That is a fantastic shot.
Both balls in
just about where you just anywhere.
Position.
Could not have hardly picked better spots. So yellow is level with the hoop, which in doing this sequence is actually somewhat preferable to putting it in front of the hoop because you're going to be approaching that ball from the north. And so better to just leave it a little short so you don't have as far to go and you can just rush it back in front versus having to go chase it if it's deeper. He also got really tight position on hoop 4. He'll be able to get a reverse rush back up towards the corner. He babied that.
Yeah.
And he caught a little extra wire. He needed to go through that by at least another foot.
Yeah. These hoops are extremely tight, and even catching just a millimeter of wire, makes the shot a whole lot more difficult. If he came through 4 feet, he rushes that red ball easily into corner 3. And now he's going to have to leave that black ball where it is. It's just... out of play for now, so it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to get that next peel on time. He's hoping to get it, but it's going to be really difficult to get this.
Yeah, he sent black so deep. If this were a faster lawn and he was really feeling his split shots, he might go to approach it now, but it's so deep that it's just, you're not going to get a rush on it.
Yeah.
And if you don't get a rush on it, it's just not reasonable to go back for it. He really needed a rush up into the corner. He wants red. That's nice. That's a beautiful shot.
good.
The only thing he may not like is, again, he's not north of yellow. He's gonna have a hard time getting a forward rush out of this.
Yeah. And having just dribbled through, I
he's not
doubt
getting any.
if he's going to really play this aggressive.
So for those at home wondering why he's kicking the air, even though he's right in front of the hoop, it's because now he has no way to get a forward rush down to black. He wanted that to go at least a couple feet past the hoop so he could have an angle to send it forward a bit and get back in front. You know, and even though he has a good stop shot ratio, there's just no angle. Look at where that yellow ball is. Yeah. So now these are the little things. Black went too deep. He gave himself a hampered backswing, right? He didn't get the rush he wanted, either down to hoop 4 or out of hoop 4.
Yeah.
And he's not getting a rush out of hoop 5. So there's just a series of small things that are compromising the integrity of this.
But it all started with that one shot that dribbled through the wicket 4 a little bit short. If that was a good shot,
then he was back.
He was back.
He had done the shots necessary to recover. But
so now he's got the difficult shots. He had the one difficult shot through the wicket to get any kind of rush. He now has a difficult shot to get up to black. Then he's got another difficult shot to get black.
This is just so
peeling.
This is so dicey. It looks like he's played it well.
He's played it as well as can be expected.
Oh my gosh, he's going to get a rush on it.
He actually has a rush to the rush.
If that had
peeling line.
If that had gone a yard further, it would have been rushable to the hoop almost.
That was
about as good of an effort as
exceptional shot.
About as good of an effort. That's what I need to work on my split shots. Those split shots are where I get in trouble. I can rush anywhere on the court I want to, but my split shots are.
Yeah. Well, so he has just gone with one really good shot from a very bad position to a very, very workable position. So if he gets this,
I would have rushed that further. I would have rushed that.
He's got that on a pretty good line.
Yeah,
so
but
if he gets this up reasonable, he can give himself a straight chance to either jaws it or make it.
I just think that if you're going to do a pass roll of some sort like this, or even a full roll, it's like, well, he's played that really well. But if he had rushed that just a couple yards further, he wouldn't have had to play such a tight angle on that.
That's true.
So, but what a recovery.
Yeah. Again, beautiful play. So he's going to decide where he wants red for spacing, because, again, he'd like to do a straight peel if possible.
And yellow is a little deep.
Yeah, so I like this. So he can rush over to the east boundary, do a straight peel. It gives him a very good chance to get it either peeled or into the jaws. He'd probably rather have it into the jaws. He'd be okay with it through, but into the jaws would be really good here.
He just flew through that hoop. I think he was, and again, I saw this with Zach after he had a couple of hoops that he kind of groveled through.
Yeah.
Started pushing through the hoops a lot.
Well, he knows that the one mistake he can't make is
not making the hoop.
Not making the hoop. So
he has now, unfortunately, gotten himself out of. He can jaws this maybe, but it's. Which jawsing pinhole peel is actually, I think, preferable.
I think this is where he would like to have it, but you know, for
Just
anyone
make sure
that
you can
thinks
hit
this
red.
is easy, it is definitely not. There is always a lot of extra wear and holes and things around a wicket. There's mounding that comes up around a wicket, so keeping this soft and on line is really difficult. If he goes soft, very difficult to get this into the jaws.
Yeah.
He's done a really good job.
Yeah, that looks
Really
pretty centered. It's just outside the jaws of the hoop, but it's pretty right in front. And he can now rush red up to the north boundary.
Given where he was, he does not want that shot back.
No, yeah, you'll take that. So,
So now he's got a really good chance to get back on time. So he needs to get over to yellow.
So when we say on-time triple versus delayed triple, we've mentioned those terms a little bit today. An on-time triple just means that when you come through a hoop, you then turn around and make the peel. So notice how he made hoop 3 and then immediately turned around to peel 4 back. And then in this sequence, he made hoop 6 and immediately turned around to peel penalt, or jaws penalt in this sense. So an on-time is just you're constantly doing the peel when you're for the same hoop coming in the opposite direction. And it is possible, if you do this correctly, to actually get the rover peel, the final peel, early, which he will be able to attempt here if he keeps this together. A delayed triple, David mentioned a little bit earlier, you're rushing to hoop 6 as you peel 4 back, so you have already come through 3, 4, and 5, and it just gives you less opportunities to get the peels right. If you make mistakes, all of a sudden, you find yourself behind and under the gun.
And Edmund knows that he cannot give Zach another shot.
No.
Because if Zach gets another shot and hits, even though Edmund's in great control right here, Zach's chances of finishing the game are extremely high. Yep. So
Edmund plays a really good shot there. He has gotten red to be a decent pioneer, probably about 4 yards off the hoop, straight in front. He has given himself about a 2.5 yard approach, 2 yard approach.
Yeah,
not quite. That's more a yard and a half. The camera, my angle from, I have to look to my left to see the monitor, right, and then I look straight ahead to see real life. But
so he really needs to get a good rush back to the north boundary, which should be easy here. He's just going to run this a little bit firmer because he's got to be able, that's perfect. Nice. He's got to be able to get yellow all the way back to wicket 9 and get a chance to rush peel black through penalt.
So what he's going to do here is he's going to send yellow. He's not probably going to send it all the way to 3 back. So when people are looking to get the rover peel early, they typically send it maybe a little more than halfway between rover and 3 back.
But it has to be past rover.
It does.
If it is short, he is in trouble.
Yeah. So he'll be looking to send yellow to that position, sort of halfway between the 2 hoops and a little deep, and while simultaneously getting shape on black so that he can rush it through the hoop down towards the next hoop. He then at that point can just do a takeoff or some other little split shot to get over to red, and hopefully he'll have a chance to at least jaws the peel or get the peel very tidy as he goes to 3 back.
And if he gets really lucky and gets the rush on black down to rover right away in good position,
Blue's going.
Yeah, he's got it.
Good thing black is pretty centered.
Yeah.
Yellow is a little more northerly than you'd like.
Yeah.
It's a little past the line of rover, but not much. That's really nice.
That is really, no, not quite. He hit that too well.
Well, a thick takeoff will send black back up north.
Yep.
So you don't need the peel to be early. You'd like it because as you've seen a couple of different times these last couple of days, in fact, on this very court yesterday, Edmund had the straight rover peel in our first game.
From about a foot away or less.
And it was a little longer than that, but it was not far. And it just, both balls came off wrong. Richard Hayes says, where's the scoreboard? That's a great question. Where is the scoreboard? So,
well, at this level, the scoreboard doesn't really matter a whole lot because it's not number of wickets. It's Edmund knows he's got to finish this game on this turn. So,
yeah. And that's I was saying that a little bit on the commentary yesterday, which is 6 wicket is more judged by the number of hoops you have because there is a much shorter time limit. There's deadness and there's less, opportunities to run breaks if deadness has been incurred. Here, it's about number of turns. Edmund cannot afford to give Zach another turn, so it's finish or bust in this turn. So you can say like, oh well, Zach has less hoops, Edmund has more hoops, so he's winning. Edmund is only winning if he finishes this turn. Yeah. He could have 25 out of 26 hoops and still lose this game.
So ultimately, the person winning is the person on the court with control of the 2 balls, what we call innings.
So Edmund not sending red north because he wants to send it to 4 back while still getting an approach on black to get it back in front of rover. So, and the more north he sent that, the harder that angle would become. Edmund's had pretty good touch on these splits. Looks like he's had pretty good. He overrolled that.
I think that's going to be difficult to get in front. So he's got two options
He just sent
here.
red. He just sent red the other side of 4-back.
Oh, that's not good.
That is not good at all.
So
It's close. It's not too deep, but it's just.
he,
And folks, I bet you money he had that aimed slightly to the right of 4-back from his perspective, or slightly more to the left. He didn't account for enough pull.
So I think the wise play for Edmund here is
Take
to
off.
I would bring black back behind hoop 9 so that he can send it over and have a great chance to rush yellow up. I would have put that behind hoop 9 and just split it back over. I just think it's real important to get the rush on yellow down court with
And he
red
hasn't
so
rushed that
in the
deep
court.
enough. There's not going to be a rush out of this.
Yeah, so he's going to have to do a big takeoff out of.
You know what he may be thinking, David? He may be thinking that if he sends yellow to penalt and he rushes black to the north boundary, he can send it back down to Rover, getting shape on red.
But now you're starting to give yourself a worse and worse pioneer at the Rover wicket. So if he had black right here, he could split it over from short distance, get behind yellow, rush it to the north boundary, and be back in very good order. But
he may be taking off from black. He may be thinking that red is close enough to the hoop. He just needs to get the other side of it. Or even if he gets next to it and taps it over.
No, I think that's what he's going to do. But anytime you have pioneers outside the box, it is really frightening to try to get between the boundary.
Oh, no,
and
he
that
is
red.
sending. He's
He'll
sending it to
send-
11.
Yeah, and then going to black.
We'll see if he decides to try to do this rush or just do a takeoff. I think the takeoff, but
I think the takeoff too. But you never know.
Yellow is good.
Definitely the takeoff.
yellow's a touch deeper than ideal, but it's very good.
Yeah.
And then he just wants to keep black in the vicinity,
Yeah.
just within a yard or so of the hoop.
But again, he is not happy with that red ball being so deep in the court.
No.
And I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there's a lot of brown area up near red, which tells me that the ground is a little more burnt out there. And when you get those situations, yeah, that's not
So
good.
he will not be getting this. Now we're getting into the territory of he's going to maybe have black behind Rover
Yeah,
because he hit that dead into the wire. And it's just these little things
yeah, that one deep pioneer there at
has
hoop
caused a
number
lot of
10.
discomfort.
Yep.
He's pushed black out really far to the side, which
Yeah.
I don't hate.
Yeah, the important thing right here is the rush on red, because he can come back after this wicket with a rush to fix black. And
He's
get
gotten
up to-
shape on it.
Yeah, but
He'd
does
like to
not-
hit right half of this from his perspective and just push it sort of towards our camera. You do not want to push into the back of the hoop.
Yeah, it's reasonable there.
Yeah,
He can
that was
split
risky,
that.
but reasonable. Hit that a little straighter than he wanted.
But he really does want to get back to black, because getting that ball early in good position makes that so much less risk on the Rover peel. I'm a little surprised he put it on the
On that side, yeah.
east side of the hoop. I
And
guess
it's just
he
and
likes
again,
the angle better
it's
from
just,
here.
But here's my thing with it, David. This is so straight behind the hoop. If you hit this wrong and you hit the
I
back of
know.
4-back, like, yeah, he played that well, but why give yourself that risk?
I know.
You
I
know, put it on the other side, well to the side, get some rush back down towards Rover.
Yeah.
Now, yes, he does get a better approach line to send red back towards the middle and get
Yeah.
the rush he wants on black. But I just think that rush is more risky, and that's the shot that's going to get you in trouble.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, Tom.
Yes, so Matthew just set a leave, his new standard. All other clips are for one. Darren is taking the B-balk shot. Which is,
Matthew's already got his 9, and Darren's just hit.
yeah, Darren nicks the red ball. So Darren taking the defensive shot, but with the hoop 2 ball. So
Okay, so this was also not a good shot.
that's an awful shot.
He's going to have to do a big, big split shot to get
So-
black down into position at rover.
Honestly, at this point, just cut it a little north, do a thick takeoff, and just deal with it. Oh, no, I don't like this.
Well,
I would have just dealt with the thick takeoff.
yeah, this is easier on yellow. The
But what
problem
level
is,
of precision do you think you're going to get a better peeling position from
I
corner
know.
3?
He's going to have to really work on that last peel.
He's got to be thinking about the straight rover peel from yesterday, too, if he doesn't get this perfect.
He's going to be thinking about that straight rover peel for months, Tom.
Hey, he won. He gets to forget about it.
That's right. He did win.
So if that had lost him the game,
That would have been.
I'm going to be thinking about that takeoff out of bounds for months,
Yep.
for years.
Well, Tom, we all know you will.
I still think about that ball I sent out of bounds against Fulford, and that was 3 years ago.
We all remember that too.
I know. Most of my worst performances somehow get immortalized on camera.
Yeah. Well,
So I promise, folks, I do win games.
But-
you just
but
don't see it
Tom-
often.
Tom, you have to play well enough to get to those opportunities to fail. So the glass is still half full. You're
Fair.
still getting to those great opportunities.
Black is on its way. It's actually got a decent looking pace on it.
That is exceptional from that distance.
From that distance, it's not. It went a little
It's
further
not
than
great,
he wanted.
but from
Blue's
that
perfect.
distance, it is exceptional.
He needs a good rush out of this hoop to get to red. He wants to. Ball management is very important here. What needs to happen is he needs to get through this hoop, get really good shape on red to rush it just a little bit behind black, because he needs a side ball, and that will be red's job. And then he needs a perfect rush on black to get it within a couple of feet dead in front of the hoop. So
Well, we'll see how he does.
Sadie Essex says, "Go, Matthew." Sadie is Mrs. Essex,
Yes.
rooting for her husband.
Matthew's much better half. Hello, Sadie. So Matthew has been playing beautiful, Sadie, and unfortunately for Matthew, Darren hit in on his turn.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That's not great. So, why would you rush it that hard? Keep that north of red,
Yeah.
right? So, folks, people might be wondering, well, he's so close to black, he's going to get a controlled rush. He's not going to. He can't leave red there. He has no deep ball. He has no side ball. If things go wrong, now he also can't really leave yellow there because it's completely hampering his ability to rush it back up in front of the hoop. So what do you do?
This is a real tough one. Is he thinking of bombarding?
Oh, please, God, no. He is.
A little bit. Yep.
He did it well, but now, yeah. Yellow is still going to cause some awkwardness.
Maybe. Depends on this rush right here.
You mean like that?
You know, I feel so bad for Edmund here because he has had the most incredibly bad luck.
My voodoo doll worked.
He put this in the one position where he cannot do a takeoff to get good control on a rush on black to the front of the wicket.
He has room around his
He
yellow.
has a little
but
bit of room. I can't see the angles perfect, but he has really.
He's really tried his best not to finish this.
So this rush will tell a lot. That was beautiful.
And
So he should get out of this unscathed.
It's a little longer than he wanted. Michael, could you step over and see what the angle on that is?
I think it's fairly straight.
Nah, his back is a couple of yards away. We're talking 20 degrees. One ball east. Edmund, not a fan of getting down on the ground to line up his peels. So, a lot of players who are probably wondering, why do I see? Oh no, he is getting down for this one. You got to.
He knows the importance of this one, right?
So a lot of people will see this and go, what the heck is he doing? Well, what he's doing is you get your eye to ground level and you're trying to see the point where the horizon of the black ball disappears behind the horizon of the blue ball, And can you still see air between that point and the inside of the wire of the hoop? So he is trying to get it as even as possible. Now, if it's more angled, then, yeah. Now, if it's more angled, you don't want to hit the near wire. You can actually have it overlap with the far wire a little bit because you're going to hit the inside of it. So the players are just looking at both sides, trying to visualize how centered they have it, because you cannot have black stick in the hoop. So, big shot. This will determine. Yeah, so previously stated, you cannot have black stick in the hoop. So what that means is that he caught a little too much wire. Now, I don't think blue looks like it's resting on the left wire. So if blue was in the center, he could actually probably double tap this.
Is that ball in the wicket or beyond?
Black is beyond.
So if
Can we get that side camera view again?
Black has scored.
So black is through, but can blue run cleanly? Because I think blue is resting on the left-hand wire.
Okay, that's the question. That is the question.
And you know what's really horrible about this is that if he was able to bully this through and get up to the peg, yellow and red are perfect to set up the bombard peg out. Because you could bombard yellow into red and get it right up to the peg. Very rare that you see all four balls not only within a yard of each other, but also both pairs of balls virtually touching each other. So this, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, may be all she wrote for the young New Zealander. So now, he does have one saving grace. If he can get blue out of the way, black is unrushable to hoop one. Yellow could obviously, or red could obviously hit it, but yellow's also awkwardly positioned to rush to hoop one, so there's maybe is a chance that Zach would have an awkward build. But you just... I wouldn't have gone that direction. I would have gone the other direction, away from hoop one.
Possible that he might need a referee on that one right there.
So, unfortunately, Edmund's chance to sort of get himself back into this match has gone awry. And again, that straight rover peel, just being a little bit further than he wants and causing some problems. So, Zach getting back in onto the court, where he probably expected that he would be sitting until the start of the next game. So we'll see what he can do to capitalize. The only problem Zach has now is if he's unable to build off of this, Edmund only needs one more decent turn to get one hoop with blue. But, so what I suspect Zach will do is Zach will firmly hit the black ball, and he will attempt to send it to two, probably getting a rush on yellow up to blue, which is the safest measure.
I would think that.
Because as you can see from there, hoop 12 is almost perfectly in the rush line that you would want to approach hoop 1, so it's going to be very... Croquet Network asks, yeah, I agree, would corner 4 have been a good option? He couldn't get to corner 4. He would have had to have gone north no matter what. Yeah. I still would have gone north to the east boundary away from hoop 1, because again, yellow is awkward enough. So Zach... So this is one of the few weaknesses in Zach's game, is when things get unusual, he can sometimes make some suspect decisions. So you want to challenge Zach. You want to make him have to think a little bit about these unusual ball arrangements, because as soon as he gets in the pattern, it's over. He's just a machine. He'll finish every time. So he is making the right first shot here. How firmly does he take this? Nice and firm.
Nice.
So now, black to 2, getting a rush on yellow to blue, and then blue back to 1, and then you're back in the brick, you're back in business.
Or yellow directly to 1 here.
Hoop 12's right in the way.
You think so?
I saw the other camera.
Okay.
So he would be very. It'd be very risky, I think, from this distance to try to approach that to get the rush, because you come up a little short. You come up a little short and you're wired. You go a little long and you don't have a good rush. I think it's much more reasonable just to go to blue And that's looks like what he's left that short though.
Yeah.
Wow, he's left that short. Both balls are quite short. So this is what happens when you've been sitting for a while. Now the problem is, if he miscuts this and it doesn't end up near blue on the line, his prospects of getting a good rush to hoop one are much lower. He needs to hit this well. And that's not great. He's in no man's land. So I think we're going to see a direct roll up to hoop one from here. I don't think there's much reason to go to blue anymore. He may just decide to set himself some sort of a lead, so he may decide to just do a little takeoff, get to blue, throw blue over here into the corner 4 area, and make Edmund take one more shot. But because if you roll up to the hoop and you miss approach, Edmund has too easy of a shot to get back in. He's on this half of the court. So there's Darren Guffey behind Mr. Watson in the midst of a turn. And here we have the approach to hoop one, and it's decent.
Yep.
He stuffed this hoop before.
Yeah.
From straighter and slightly shorter than this, but he'll be running this firmly.
But there's not many people in the world you'd trust more than Zach to run this shot.
Oh no, it groveled.
He's made it.
Can he?
Okay.
He may have gotten.
Michael, you want to get this?
He may get incredibly lucky again and still be able to get a clean mallet on this yellow ball. It rolled off to the side slightly, but he can get a clean mallet on it, I think, or at least do a sweep. If he gets away with this, this will be the second time this match that I've seen that he will.
Well, in all fairness, with all of the bad luck that Edmund has, he deserves some good luck. So
this is not good luck for Edmund, though.
No, I know, but
he can get a clean. He can get a clean hit on this.
Yeah,
I think he's got it. I think he's very confident with it. Yeah, center ball.
Very clean.
He was lucky it got that last little roll and got through the hoop at all.
Yep.
Okay, well, folks, we're back. Now, the only awkward part about this is that it's going to be tricky. He's not going to get it on time.
He's just going to go, well, no, he's going to get that out there, and he's going to go to blue. And
he does have the angle to do it.
Having yellow doesn't have to be a great pioneer. He can make blue a great pioneer, and then...
I just didn't think he had a good angle to get there, but now I see it from the camera angle, and it's much better than I thought.
Yeah, that's actually
pretty good.
That's very good from there, especially if he gets that blue ball. It's a really good pioneer. Having those two balls up there, he's in really good order.
So once again, folks, like we said, it doesn't matter the number of hoops. Edmund has way more hoops. He only has one more hoop left to go and both balls to hit the peg, so he has 23 points. But as we sit here, we expect Edmund to only have 23 points when this is all said and done. So the amount of hoops you've made is irrelevant in association. It's who finishes. And right now, Zach is in a clear finishing turn.
This shot right here, he does not have a great hoop two pioneer, but if he gets by this, I would guess... Yeah, he's got this. I would guess Zach's percentages of finishing are well north of that. What was he asking?
Oh, Edmund just wanted to see a replay of his peel attempt after the game, after the match.
Okay.
He thinks it was lined up perfectly. That would be the second time that straight rubber peel has not gone well in this court. So I think he's now wondering if there's some sort of eccentricity of the court that he's fallen victim to twice.
Yeah, that was the same situation and same scenario as when he played you in the quarters.
Mm-hmm. Except I think Zach is going to actually capitalize on his opportunity, whereas I did not.
Well, percentages are probably about 80% in Zach's favor, maybe even higher, that he finishes this from this position. But as you saw with Edmund, things can unravel even for the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not as good on yellow as he would have liked.
Yeah. Black ended up pretty good. Maybe a little tighter to the hoop
Black
than he
was
wanted.
good, but he'd like a better rush on yellow to the hoop.
Thankfully, he left blue south, so he'll be able to get this in decent peeling position while also taking shape on blue. Zach's split shots seem to be his biggest strength today. His ratios and his aim has just been, I mean, just that last one to approach the ball at hoop 2. I'm telling
that's
you, man.
about perfection.
He's putting balls on dimes with these split shots. Over and over. Yeah, and again, he'd be if Edmund had decided to put blue on the other boundary between 3 and 4, this would have been a tougher build for Zach. Now, yes, then Edmund, that is the ball he wants to hit with, so he would not have had an easy shot if Zach did mess up to get back in. But nicking everything on the way through. Jana Muhammad says, hey there, this is really fun to watch. Hello, Jana.
Hello, Jana.
Hello, Jana.
Michael Albert says hi. He'll be playing this with a little bit of flat stroke. That's going to have a lot of pull. So, folks, we talked about milling earlier and how it affects pull. The other thing that affects pull is 2 things. The width of the angle that you're splitting it at. So how much off of that line are you aiming? He's aiming it fairly narrow. And then how flat or angled of a stroke are you hitting? So right there, he hit that as a stop shot, which is a flat stroke. If he had hit it as a half roll, 3/4 roll, full roll, each of those is going to have less pull than the flat stroke would have. And the wider the angle you play it, the more pull it's going to have than a narrow angle. So these are all variables that the players have to account for when they are attempting these peeling turns. Because if they don't, then you aim it right where you want it to go. It's not going to go there.
So Darren Guffey is for hoop 9 to get his first 9 against Matthew in game 1.
And it looks like he's setting up for the diagonal. The only unfortunate part is he's left black pretty far away from the peg. So if he has to do a tiny little shot to tidy up the peg ball, he might have a long roquet, longer than he would like, to get back. But he's happy just to hit and get around it.
So this is really where Edmund got in a little bit of trouble. Zach got the same problem as Edmund. He did not get the rush up to the north
Can he
bound.
hit black? Oh, he's looking at it.
Wow.
Because black is a little short of the hoop. He can hit it.
Yeah, he can hit it. He just can't rush it.
Wow. He can snick it. I think. Maybe I'll be.
So I'm guessing that hoop is a little tighter than the others.
They've all been having a problem with it.
They've all. And as the balls get a little bit hotter, they expand just a little bit and they get a little stickier. The rubber gets a little softer. Ground gets a little firmer.
Jack Good asking, are these games timed? No. These semifinals are not timed. They've been timed up until this point. 7.5 hour best of 3 matches. So these best of 5s are the only matches that have to complete today. So they are not timed. So this is what Edmund would have liked to have done on his triple attempt in the last game, is go retrieve that ball early so he had better control of it at hoop 6. Black awfully short of one back. But I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. He was sending that to 6. It's long, so I got ahead of myself there. It's a good rush. Yeah, he wanted black to be shorter than that. That's a little... Lost where I was in the sequence. That's a great shot.
Yep.
And again, this is why it's okay to have blue about level with hoop 5 when you're approaching it from the north. You can just come right up behind it and then you can position it in front of the hoop with your Croquet.
So in a perfect world, he'd love to be able to get a rush out of this wicket up toward wicket 7 with black on that side. He'd rather avoid the big roll up to black.
He's giving himself room if he runs the hoop. Now, this was the hoop he stuck in earlier that had to be fixed. And you see again, and he has no backswing at it.
It is a very, very tight hoop.
I don't think he has a clean backswing at it. He's going to have to... These hoops are giving him trouble now.
Yeah.
He's going to have to... And Michael, you see us in the background. Hello. Michael Albert rushing out. So you see how close we are to the court. That's why we're keeping our voices a little low. No, Jack. Darren hasn't beaten Matthew in game 1 of the semifinal. Darren is actually at the moment tidying up his very flat diagonal spread. Looks good, though. So both of them will have ran their first 9 hoops. So if Matthew hits, he'll be finishing. If Matthew misses, Darren will have a chance for his second triple peel ever. So I wish I could see a little bit. We're sitting too far south of the hoop 5. The camera angle gives us better view. He can get a mallet on it, but I don't know how clean.
Yep.
He got it.
Well,
Edmund just can't catch a break.
Edmund cannot catch a break.
That's how I felt yesterday against Edmund. His luck ran out with me.
This is about 3 times for Zach that he has just barely got through hoops, but made it. And
he's having that hoop 5 checked just because it was stuck earlier. Each ball is slightly different dimensions, even though they're supposed to be identical. Balls swell differently. So he just wanted it checked for academic reasons.
But again, they are set to very, very tight tolerances because these players are so good. Conditions.
Yeah.
And
I think this is a problem that I think is partially mechanical in Zach's part, because if you notice Zach's swing, he has when he's running hoops, especially trying to run them with control, he's very short backswing and a little bit pushy, and he doesn't generate a lot of spin. So when he catches even just a hair extra wire or the hoops are a little snug, it doesn't matter how much he sort of tries to force the ball through the hoop. It's gonna catch it and it's gonna just die. So, we were talking about that earlier. One of the reasons that my stop shot is bad, it might also be the reason that I don't get caught up in hoops as much. But one of the reasons that Zach's stop shot is good may also be the reason that he struggles a little bit on these tight hoops.
Well, I would say that is spot on right there, Tom.
He's got to be thinking about these hoops now.
He has definitely got it in his mind, but as you can see.
I'm telling you, he's pushing right through it. It's going to be very difficult to hit this and hold it in position. Oh, he's done it well.
Yeah, he's done it well. As long as he gets it in the jaws, he's going to be very happy. He will not be complaining in this one.
No. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far through the hoops now he averages. It's going to be, I don't think we're going to see many hoops ran softly. And that ball is firmly in the jaws, so that's perfect. Any hit on that will send it through just about. Matthew just missed his B-balk shot, taking the defensive shot knowing that Darren is not likely to triple, so giving him opportunities to mess up.
But pretty impressive for Darren to get a finishing turn against Matthew.
Absolutely.
It just tells you where he has come in his game. And
a good stop shot there, perfectly weighted from Zach. Give himself a beautiful Pioneer at 8. It's a little to the east, but it's about a yard in front of the line of the hoop. Maybe a little less. And then a good approach here. So he'll be looking for the reverse rush, just like Edmund was, to rush this yellow through. Honestly, black's so good. If he gets yellow in some sort of peeling position, he could take a go at it.
Oh, absolutely.
You see that hoop shot, just a little push. right. So he's got a pretty straight on approach from here. So, and yellow, unlike Edmund's break, yellow is dead center in the middle of the hoop. So as long as he stays north of it, any shot he gets is going to be, ooh, blue is short. Blue is awfully short. That is north of 12. He is, and you see the little arm wave there. He's like, gotta hit it. He still has plenty of room to yellow. He just, so
Darren is approaching hoop 1, and he made a very poor rush to hoop 1.
He is rolling up to hoop 1 from north of 5.
With Matthews' 3-back ball. So I can't see from here whether he's made it. Has he gotten shape? He's not going to get a better opportunity, so I'm sure he's going to take this.
Is Zach lining this up?
Yeah, he really wants to with blue in that position.
He's got it aimed.
He's not going to get the second chance at it. So.
Oh, he did it.
That curved off.
It curved back. So, folks, I'm looking straight down the barrel of the line of that shot, and that was going for the dead middle of the hoop until the last 2-3 feet, which is actually very interesting how sharply it broke off. Perhaps that's the reason Edmund's peels. Because both yesterday and today, Edmund approached slightly angled from the east side.
Yeah,
and so that means that if it breaks back that way, you're going to take near wire from that angle. And so I suspect that that sharp little curve we just saw there, so you can't see it from this camera angle, but right there it broke off. I mean, and so sharp. It was dead middle of the jaws, and within the last 3 feet, it didn't even hit the hoop.
Yeah.
That was a
we hit
you can see it better here.
We hit a
Bam.
very
It just turned and missed the whole hoop. So that was against the pull.
Yeah.
Tom, these hoops got moved. These courts got moved 6 feet, so these are not even anywhere near any of the old hoop holes.
Yeah.
Same result though.
That's just an anomaly of the court. So that maybe sheds some light on why Edmund's straight rover peels. They both were roughly from a slightly easterly angled position where you would be playing up into that slope. And if it slopes back against you, you're catching your wire.
Yeah.
So Zach will probably be thinking about that here, because
I think Zach is he's going to give it a go.
Gosh, you know what? He must be thinking about Edmund's peel and not wanting to get himself in the same position, but. And he's also had trouble with that hoop 5, so twice now. So he's got to be thinking, it's a firm hoop, it's snug. If you end up doing this as a straight rover peel, the only problem with this is you could get this in a bad position.
You could.
And then you're fixing it from behind the hoop.
This is again where I like bringing it as a reception out behind hoop 9, and you get another chance to maybe rush it over after hoop 9. But certainly opens up a lot more possibilities for the break. But he's done a beautiful job getting that in position.
That beautiful.
So,
he has such touch on those split shots.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. And a really good rush here. A really good chance for a forward rush out of 9.
So I don't know what happened. Darren must have bailed, Matthew must have missed, and Darren is now back in, hitting into Matthew's balls in the corner with a ball in front of 4.
Yeah.
But he hit the north ball. He did not hit the corner ball. So now he's going to have an awkward time of it. So, all right, Zach over here. He's managed to get through that hoop. Ooh. Almost did not get that one. Because, again, didn't come through the hoop as cleanly as he intended. This is going to be in his head when he lines up this rover. I mean, he's going to have it in pretty much perfect position, but like, if yellow grovels through,
he's just seen it happen.
It's a situation where he may be tempted to overhit it and could potentially send it, push it out of bounds, which would be suboptimal.
Beautiful rush up to 10. Great Pioneer at 11.
Folks, this is looking like he's gonna, after some dodgy hoops, he seems to have found a good rhythm. He's gonna run this a little firmer. Yep. You see that push, that tiny backswing, just that acceleration. And it should be stated for the folks at home that, you know, typically us teaching pros, we teach that you should not be pushy in the swing. That acceleration on the forward swing is not an ideal thing because it leads to people over gripping it, twisting, shoving on the ball, doing things that you're not supposed to do. Zach has an incredible amount of athletic strength and ability and probably has some of the most fine muscle control that I've seen. So what works for Zach Watson does not work for the average croquet player. So please do not fall into the trap of thinking that, you know, that you should also go out and work on pushing your way through hoops. So he's just, and part of it's just the fear, like that hoop, like near misses that he's had.
Get a little gunshot, grovel through 6-inch hoops shots.
We was a halfway decent deep ball. It's not as deep as you might. But
He's done that about perfect.
yeah, that's really good. He would like to make this rover peel about half the distance it currently is. All right, I doubt that there's any curvature of the lawn that would cause him some grief here. So
I think this shot's going to take any curve out with the power he's going to hit it. I think this is going to be halfway to the baseline with yellow.
Darren has broken down again, has bailed. Matthew is back on the lawn, and he's done it perfectly. So all that remains is the rush into the back of Rover or the Grievous to ruin. Both highly unlikely with Zach's control and ability.
This has been a very, very unlucky game or match for Edmund. So
Yeah. They happen.
they happened. And, a little unfortunate for Edmund that it happened against Zach at this point in time, but it's all part of the game.
Matthew is taking a court-long B-ball shot from corner 3 at his partner ball in corner 4 with Darren's blue ball in front of hoop 4. Looking at it, he's looking at it. He missed it. Darren will have a double target of sorts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in about 30 seconds or less, depending on how he likes his lineup, Zach Watson is going to achieve the hat trick, 3 back-to-back triples, to propel himself into the final. That will be all she wrote. Congratulations to Zach Watson.
Well done.
For a great performance. Little luck never hurt nobody except the person who got the bad end of it. But Zach has been playing phenomenal croquet this entire week. Like I said, has barely dropped a triple. That will now make, he was 8 for 10 triples at the start of this match. That will now make him 11 for 14. I'm sorry, I just did the wrong. He was 8 for 10, 11 for 13. My apologies. So, an incredible percentage. Edmund had chances there.
Tom, I'm going to grab a little lunch.
Alrighty. Can we see, is there a way that we can get these cameras pointed over, or at least get some of our cameras over on the other lawn so we can see what's going on in the other semifinal? So the situation is that Darren has hit again. There's been some back and forth in this game. Darren is over to our left in corner 4. Kind of, you can see him behind Zach and Edmund. were having their post-game conflab. As far as I'm aware, Darren has had a hell of a time getting through Hoop 1. He's been unable to do so far. So the situation now is he seems to have a rushable yellow ball, but red may be slightly hampering this rush from getting directly to Hoop 1. He may have to cut it south. This is the second time he's had to deal with these balls in the corner, and this is not his Hoop 1 ball either. So he's cut that over to about midway on the boundary to the end of A bulk. So someone could go back and look at the statistics. I haven't, but I would say probably in this country in the last 10 years or so, Zach, the final lineup for an AC National Singles has probably been Zach and Matthew more times than anyone else. Zach Watson has probably more second place trophies in this tournament than anyone else because at least 3 or 4 times he's run up against Matthew in the final, and they've had great matches, but Matthew has always managed to come out victorious. And then I was lucky enough to get victorious over Zach one year, a couple years ago, and so Zach is not a stranger to the finals of this tournament, and he is probably playing the best croquet that he's ever played. And
Make an announcement. We're going to close this session in a couple of moments,
Okay.
and we're going to reset cameras, get the other semifinal match.
Great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you just heard Michael Albert behind me, but the folks here at ID Live Streaming are going to get us set up on the other court with the other semifinal. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut down this live session for a few moments, and we will be back online in 30 minutes once the cameras are moved over and the feed is back up. So I will be rejoining you for the commentary, but please tune back in 30 minutes to the new live stream session. We thank you for being
Eclipsing the sparkle of jewels and beyond collecting art. True luxury is not a thing acquired or a status to declare. Real, meaningful luxury is a feeling discovered. The opulence of spirit. The relaxed, resplendent luxury of the Sarasota area. Feel the difference.
To discover the hidden gems of Sarasota, escape to Sarasota County, where sun-kissed beaches meet award-winning restaurants and vibrant cultural attractions. Plan your unforgettable getaway today. Ready to discover the hidden gems of Sarasota?